Hello and welcome to DCP Live episode number 189, where it is
189.
It's not the 14th, it's the 21st, even though the
That's
graphics
my
said
birth
14th.
year. 189.
189, there you go.
Yep.
How you doing, guys?
Doing spicy.
Watts and I both
Doing good?
fine.
I'm thrilled.
Tired.
The
I'm
like
thrilled.
kind of Connecticut started opening back up a little bit.
Awesome.
And so today I got to go to like my favorite retro game store,
Nice.
Hey.
and I bought all 3 of the Super Nintendo Star Wars games.
That's fantastic. What did that run you, by the
Yeah.
way?
They were $11 each, so it was expensive. You know, it was pricey. You know,
$11.
Is that
one of the
expensive?
kids isn't going to eat this month, but we got 2 of them, so we should be okay.
Okay, I see what you're doing.
They'll have to share.
You could just cook rice, right? Just rice. That's it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
So-
I'm not eating it.
Supposedly the mall is opening up in my area tomorrow.
That's great.
Really?
That's great.
Wow.
I know.
The only thing I've heard is I got an email from my hairdresser who was like, they've actually had a course to help them get better at dealing with clients now that all this is a thing that exists.
Face shield.
So
and all
they're
that,
like,
man.
yeah, they're wearing a full apron, mask, gloves. You have to wear a mask. When you come in, you have to go wash your hands. And then when they're shampooing your hair and stuff, they like put a towel over your face.
Wow.
No direct contact. So I was
The
like,
game
damn, I like
The
Yeah.
this.
game store had a sign that said maximum of 8 people in the store at any time.
Mhm.
You must wear a mask. And then when I actually picked out the games, they grab them for you, and then they wipe them down with alcohol.
That's good.
And so it's like, everybody's taking extra precautions, but we're out there living life, and that feels a lot better than it did, a month ago, right? Where
Yeah.
we're just sitting at
And
home
I kind
doing.
of like that people are taking precautions anyway, because flu is a big deal. There's a bunch
Yeah.
of stuff you can catch that's really not good. So if we
Yeah.
can have the more hygiene, the better. That things
Yeah,
are
I
gonna
got
be for
syphilis last year, and it was awful.
Definitely, it was probably from
From the
getting
game
your
store,
haircut,
of
right?
course.
Yeah.
From-
You don't know where those
Got
games
it from the
have been.
haircut at the game store. Actually, it was probably
You don't
from when
know.
he was trying to cure his bad case of
Where are
ligma.
you
last
inserting
year.
those cartridges,
Yeah,
Briar?
yeah.
Well,
Have you seen what he does with a doorknob, friend?
That's true. We forgot about his doorknob
His
skills.
recreational game of doorknob opening without hands or feet.
That's true.
Exclusively on the Mister.
I'm just trying to stay sanitary.
Oh man.
I do feel though that like this is kind of easing up. I feel like everybody's still got to be careful. We still got to take it slow, but I do feel like the light at the end of the tunnle is now visible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like even if we
kinda
gotta we gotta take extra precautions. Everybody's walking around looking like 1880s train robbers. Whatever.
Love it.
We're getting it done. We're getting it
Mask
done.
up.
I did take a walk today, and people were playing volleyball behind the school, and the cops came and put an
Yeah.
end to that.
Good.
So it's like,
You
Not
gotta
in
pay.
my video games.
Too soon.
You got to pay attention, man. Like you're saying, you're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, but one bad mishap, could end up spreading it everywhere. So it's good to take precautions,
And
guys.
right back to lockdown you go. That's
Exactly.
right.
Should stay inside, play Destiny. Come on.
Play
Or
some
Warzone.
Destiny or Warzone.
Or
No,
some
that's
Neo
fine with
too,
that.
like Tefty
Neo.
Teft.
Or
that's not the team
Terraria.
I'm on. I'm not
like
on
I've
the
been
team that
playing.
calls the cops.
No.
You don't want to call the cops, Briar?
You don't want to be a snitch.
No, that's not the
Oh.
team I'm on.
I'm
Like,
gonna.
it's fine if
I
they
would
do it.
snitch on Briar having a barbecue.
You and my wife would get along famously. Never a lost opportunity to call the cops.
Is this why you're so tame now, Briar? Your wife will call the cops on you, so all your
Oh, she
hooligan
would.
days are. She would.
She would.
Can't imagine
Oh
what
man,
Briar was like before he got married.
reckless,
That was a lot
wild.
more fun.
Probably
Been
wore
around a
it.
lot of doorknobs in his time.
Did you have a Harley, Briar?
No, I never owned a Harley. My motorcycle, I haven't
When
ridden
the-
it in like 5 years.
I was gonna say
Which is
Charlie's Angels.
stereotypical of
That's
getting
not.
married. Sorry. Charlie's Angels.
Oh man. All right.
Like
well,
Briar, you were in part of the Angels, right? Charlie's Angels. Oh, Briar totally was. Charlie's Angel. Can you imagine Briar posing with the, exactly? Look at that.
I see it. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Spot
That's
on.
why you got to watch the podcast. That
Yeah.
was good.
Me and Farrah Fawcett are like this.
Thick as thieves.
Like this.
Oh my god. Speaking of lies,
Great segue. I love it.
That was
There's-
perfect.
there's a certain something that happened in Destiny that's officially out now.
Yes.
Today,
Yes.
the
Yeah.
door was opened.
They cracked it open. They ushered in all the Guardians.
Yeah.
Who
Finally
wants?
stopped holding the door.
All right, so who wants to give us synopsis? What's going on?
Oh God.
The
Lots
live
of
quest was broken
Okay.
Sunday night.
Okay.
Community said, Bungie, why can you not get up at 10:30 in the evening and fix my video games?
Where's my
Second
patch?
topic.
And they finally fixed it today, which is Thursday. So Sunday to Thursday, pretty. Seems like it could have been a decently nasty bug that was
Yeah.
causing it.
Seems
now
like it,
people
right?
know they
What was
would
it?
they would have been up for 3 days straight. That's
3
why
days
they,
straight. They
okay.
Yeah,
Just do
because
it
if
when they go into
if
work.
it's a bug that happens server side, then that's something that they can fix much faster. But if it's baked into the code, testing that and fixing it and making sure it doesn't, they fix the door, but now you all of a sudden can't throw grenades. Who knows?
Mm.
They have to make sure that your whole game doesn't break.
Suddenly, Antaeus Wars is not equipable.
Oh wow!
Damn it.
Crazy.
If only.
It's Dominoes, man.
That I'd love for them to get up at 10:30 at night and fix. That would be great. But yeah, so we all we went out.
Yep.
I actually went out because that's when the community event finished, right? All the planets got done. It was around 8 or 9 p.m. that night. Everybody hops in. It's like, yeah, let's go kill 1,000, thrall, or you could do 100. You could kill any enemy with a shotgun, or you could go in the Crucible, I think, and do 100, right?
Yeah,
But
Crucible
then
was
once,
100.
Like you're saying, we hit that point, and then what?
And then people realized, that's weird. Is this some type of puzzle, Bungie? Or do we have to figure out a puzzle? Is that what's going on? Because the
was
step
puzzling.
in the quest, you had to go to the bunker, and the door was closed. You couldn't get in the bunker. It would not allow you to enter the bunker. So that was kind of unfortunate because I know Dado jumped on to start streaming as soon as he saw that it was complete.
Oh, yeah.
And then 2 minutes
Pulled
later,
himself out
he
of bed.
hears that there's a bug, and he closed down the stream.
Yeah.
Damn.
I do think some content creators, because I saw Glad, Cactus, others, they're like, oh man, when's this thing gonna finish? I want to be up late. I think they were secretly a little happy. They're like,
Oh yeah.
it's bugged tonight. I'm gonna.
Oh,
be able to,
bugged.
go
How
to bed."
unfortunate. Time to go to sleep.
Yeah, well, I guess I can go to bed at a normal hour and keep my sanity.
So it was
But yeah,
bugged.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
you
Bungie
couldn't-
said
you
they
couldn't
said
progress it.
yeah, they just right away they're like, hey, if you're standing in front of Eris, which is what happened to me, you hit the marker and it's like loads you back in the moon, and I was like, there's no marker anymore, and I'm like, what? And then everybody's telling me that it's bugged, so that was it.
Yep. Officially bugged, which was fixed today. So right at reset, 10 a.m., it was fixed and you could go and finish the final part of the quest, which it wasn't just grab a bounty and go kill 1,000 thrall with 200 public events. It was an actual story mission quest, which was really cool. Do we want to talk about the lore that happened?
I think so.
You
Yeah.
think so? No.
Yeah.
So basically when you load in, it shows you that there is Felwinter is projected as particles, and he's standing there. And you start hearing Rasputin talking about the story of Felwinter, a little background on Felwinter and kind of who he is and all of that. So that's where it starts. You go into the story mission and you hear that. Do you all have
He
Felwinter?
was
Did you do it?
Yes, I grabbed it.
No, I watched the video that Fran posted in.
Yeah,
Twitter.
I gave
Yeah, I haven't got it yet.
I knew some people. I was like, the final payoff's only a 5-minute, load in and payoff to the lore. So you should do it and you should grab
You
it. But
should.
you had to get the, the 1,000 shotgun kills or the.
Yeah.
But even that doesn't take long. I loaded in a Whisper,
doesn't.
and if you're super efficient, you can definitely, probably in 30 minutes, 2 runs, easy. Because I don't think you can do it in one, but you can get all those kills fast. So definitely grab it because the quest is going away as well. I was
It's a
talking
good
a little
shotgun.
extra, by the way, because my mic, we weren't sure if it was too low. Taft, how are we doing? Just making sure.
There we go. I just had
You okay?
a ninja fix there. I boosted a
All
little
right.
bit.
He's on a ninja fix. Anyway, so yeah. So yeah, I loaded in and did it, and I liked it. It's a lot of lore at the end. There's no action.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I like the lore being in the game. That's cool.
Yeah, because normally with these quests, what we've had for a while recently is all the lore that we're finding out is just written in the actual quest or when you go and talk to the character. Whereas this was you're actually experiencing the lore. You know, it's they've got a room where they're hosting it. They've got different images. They've got Rasputin talking to us. They have Anna translating what Rasputin is saying. And it was kind of crazy to learn that Rasputin and Felwinter are related.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did anybody actually have clear lore stuff on this?
Yeah, see, I'm no expert. I heard that line and I didn't fully understand.
Yeah, because she was like, is Rasputin talking about himself? So the whole story that they're talking about is Rasputin sends, well, not Rasputin, but a tyranny guy, tyrannist?
Yeah, a tyrannical king.
Tyrannical king.
And Felwinter's
one of the
his son.
Iron Lords,
Who
right?
is Felwinter. Yeah. Felwinter, who is the son of this tyrannical king.
Right. Yeah.
Sends his son to the people to like get to know the people. Whatever.
Yeah. It was very biblical Lord of the Rings. More biblical first, probably Lord of the Rings second. But
and then Felwinter is like, these people were actually cool. I think tyranny is bad.
Yeah.
And then
he's like a good kid.
Yeah.
But his tyrannical king's like, nah. And then what? His
And then Felwinter was like, I ain't coming back. I'm gonna fight for the people. He became like basically a guardian. And the tyrannical king essentially said, if I can't have my son, then no one will. And he let this plague out. I think they called it a plague, right?
Yeah, he lured him in with,
Wait,
I guess.
Chat is saying the king is Rasputin?
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's what I was wondering. Do we know that as a fact?
That's the lore. That's what happened during the cutscene is that Anna said, is he talking about himself?
That's the end of it.
Which is, and this has been Rasputin telling a story of a tyrannical king, and Anna says, is he talking about himself? Which would mean that the tyrant is Rasputin.
Right. And that's
Okay.
exactly, and then that was what.
So Felwinter is his kid?
Yeah.
How's that work?
I get, yeah. I wasn't
I
sure.
need to see some diagrams. So is the plague Siva?
Okay, so the hereafter says Felwinter was an exo made by Rasputin, which would make sense. Robot make robot. And then the plague is Siva. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was gonna say it was interesting. That's what it's all this like very biblical tale for a while, and then it gets to the point where it's like, oh, but the king, the tyrannical king, lured Felwinter back with this promise, I believe, of this AI that would like help all the people or whatever, right? And that was where it was like AI. Okay, so now it's like more futuristic, and then that's how he lured him in, and then he basically gave him a virus or whatever, like, and that's where I was like. Still wondering, I was like, wait, this was sort of about computers, and then that's how they end it. So I for a second I was like, is Felwinter's like AI now, like Rasputin? I didn't know.
Wait, if Felwinter is an exo, don't exos start as humans, and then their consciousness gets moved into the exosuit?
Well, Rasputin so Felwinter is an AI that Rasputin created. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Felwinter created Rasputin?
Apparently he was the first AI exo. So you have organic grown exos which come from humans. And then you have the AI exo, who's just a robot. There you go.
Blurring lines. Right.
So I didn't know that all this. It's really interesting to me that apparently, again, factual, because I'm not a lore guy, and I'm just reading chat, and it's like Rasputin was the tyrannical king, Felwinter was the son, and the plague was Siva, which we've all seen all those. I'm like, okay, so it was that also what Osiris was talking about when he's like, you're a thug, like does that make more sense now?
Oh, I need to go back and watch that cutscene.
Remember when Osiris, he's like, I know what you really are, whatever. He's like, you're a thug. So maybe he knew about this history.
Yeah.
Which makes more sense.
Very spicy. There's also a whole new lore book that comes with Felwinter. So as you get kills with Felwinter's Lie, it's going to drop lore books for you.
Oh, that's
cool. And I played Crucible with it today, and I think I'm at like 9 lore books. So it's not slow. I think you can get them all pretty quickly. Yeah.
I like it when they do
Meanwhile, the Almighty is still hurtling toward Earth, right?
Yes.
But nobody cares anymore.
All the Guardians are like, Felwinter's Lie is back. It's got shot package. What do you want me to do? We're going to die from the thing. It's fine.
It actually, going to the bunker, I always look at the wall, you know, the update of the LEDs, and I was like, oh boy, it's not looking very good. But then I'm like, yeah, I want this gun, so I'm like, whatever. It's just a painting. But
I
well,
haven't
don't
played
know
it yet. I haven't played it yet, but I did watch that video, and man, it looks really incredible with what they did right there. It also makes me miss actual story campaign missions from Bungie when they put a lot of great effort in design and all that stuff. I know it takes a long time. That's why they don't do it all the time, but it's so well done when they have like a nice package of stuff put together. And while I do like content coming through the seasons, sometimes I wish there was just a really nice like 10 or 20 hour campaign to dig into.
You know, I really would absolutely. I know this would never happen, but I would love to have a single player solo campaign of Destiny's lore.
Mm-hmm.
yes.
If they ever, because you know how Riot Games is putting out all these different things based on their universe. If Bungie ever just put out a standalone single player story Destiny, oh, the stories they have in Destiny are amazing. And the worlds they create, the world art, all of that is just so well crafted that, yeah, I mean, I would love to have more cutscenes and stuff because I think they're even better at storytelling now than when they were doing those big chunks of
They are,
story
for sure.
drops.
Yeah, and
So it would be
the
amazing.
other issue too is like I don't want to sit and read lore pages to get the experience of Destiny's story. That's not fun for me as a gamer. Like I get it. I know some people really enjoy that, and that's great. I'm not saying you shouldn't enjoy that. Go ahead, that's great. But
I'm saying you shouldn't
So
enjoy that. You're
judgmental.
wrong for enjoying what you like.
you are a bad guardian.
How dare you?
Bad.
Bad.
Very bad. Look what you did. Yeah, I wish sometimes you could dig into some really juicy campaigns with Destiny, but
Yep.
Yeah.
the more they move in this direction, the less I feel like that's ever going to happen. It's always going to be like, here's a nice little 5-minute snippet of awesome content, and now go kill a million thrall.
Yep. Yeah, I think I brought that up before where it's like I understand the challenge of, you know, it should all be in Destiny and whatever. They just got to figure out the campaign and et cetera. But I was totally right there with you, Watson. Like I would 100% pay the full $60 if you outsource it to a super talented developer and let them develop just some Destiny story that even maybe goes over a lot of what's happened in a different perspective, but like that really like close-up storytelling like we've gotten now from God of War and stuff like that. And you could do so much with the world. And
Well,
Oh,
they
God,
I've
a God of
no
War
doubt.
style game like Destiny. Oh,
yeah,
that's
I've no doubt.
so bring
Bungie's
it all the way
considering
back to Reach. Reach's campaign, in my opinion, was phenomenal, and that was their last Halo campaign that they did in-house Bungie. I know the team has changed and all that, but
Yeah.
that's like kind of a glimpse, you know?
Let's get FromSoft to make the
Here we
Destiny
go.
game.
God.
Let's outsource it to them. That'd be great. Let's do
Oh
that.
my
I don't want
God.
them to do it. Then I wouldn't be able to get past the first boss.
First boss is Zavala.
Yeah.
It would be cool. I would say never though, right? Because Destiny is a pretty big franchise, and we've seen
It is, yeah.
even stuff like I wouldn't want it to be done this way, but right, like with Borderlands,
Mhm.
you know, the way that they did Tales of the Borderlands.
Oh yeah.
That
That would
that
be
that could even be a
amazing.
solution just to get the lore. I actually like I really like those games, but meaning I'd way
They were
prefer
good.
like a super cinematic, you know, amazing AAA action shooter experience for a step. But that could be another way too.
Mhm.
That could be really interesting. So never
I
say
mean-
never. I think there's a chance.
Either way, people love the game's lore, and they want to be in the world a
Yeah.
lot because of that.
Yep.
Yeah, and this mission did a
Remember
great
how
job.
there was all
Right.
that there was all that supplemental Halo content. There were books, there were movies, there's an animated series, and there's all sorts of stuff for Halo. I wonder if that was all Microsoft driven,
Probably.
you know?
Microsoft,
Imagine not finishing a Destiny full campaign in a day. Imagine.
impossible.
That's never been a thing. They're like, okay, guys, we'll pick up the story tomorrow. This has been great. No,
Right.
Yeah, right.
I mean, what
you're done. It's over.
that is a good point. So what do we think the road forward is? Not getting this pipe dream of like, well, we also get a AAA cinematic or a Tales of the Destiny. So in the current game and the way forward, do we think that we're seeing they're on some path here that campaigns can be done differently than we saw with like the Red War? Like, what do we expect, in other words, with the next big campaign drop? Should it be the same, or do we have like ideas on how to solve it in the current?
Are
model?
you saying like a September or October?
Yeah,
time frame?
this September, October, and then also you could say 2 years as well from now. But like, what's the path to solve Destiny campaigns in its current form? Because we don't want, you know, the massively multiplayer feel of it to go away, right?
Right. Yeah.
No.
And the other issue too is that even if you did do a massive campaign, then suddenly people are like, I have to do this massive campaign to get to the end game because the FOMO kicks in and you got to make sure you hit max level as fast as possible to get ready for whatever end game content's coming.
Yeah.
And there is a weird juxtaposition that happens with that. And
Yeah, Anthem fell on that knife, if you recall.
Yep.
The story, studio very good at storytelling, and they tried to. Granted, it was their first shot at it, and it came out kind of messy. But they tried to do too much at once. I think you could really, quite messy. Hey, let's go, freelancers. but yeah. So in other words, what I was thinking about, I'm curious if you guys agree. Like, I do feel like there's this opportunity to, in a more cinematic way, do what we just saw with Felwinters, but make it a real, that's an actual story level that the whole thing was, and there's Siva, and there's a cutscene, but it's a little more padded out. And then, I don't know how you do that, but I almost feel like we could spread it around a little more instead of it being one.
I think, I'll be honest with you, I think it's important that I think it's important that whatever they do, it's account based, not character based. So once you go through it, you don't have to go through it 3 times.
100%.
Yes,
because that's awful.
Agreed.
But then, if you do that, also don't lock other content behind finishing it. So like, let's say there's a raid coming out on Friday. Don't make me play through the story to make myself raid ready. And then you kind of open it up to like, okay, now I can play this at the pace I want to play it at.
I will say that Forsaken felt like it was a good kind of middle ground of that, is that we had like quite a juicy story, and it was an interesting story. It was a lot to take in. It changed the world. But then they also had this drip feed. So it wasn't like a huge, big campaign drop where you were in there for, 10, 20, however many hours. But it was like a good chunk juicy, of story. Though. Yeah, it was juicy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of had 2 parts to it with the, fighting the Forsaken and then go into the Forgotten City or whatever it's called.
Yeah, and that actually really kind of pinpointed now you're in more close to the end game, right? It was kind of like these 2 sections. So this is where all the end game people are in the Dreaming City, and then everyone else is in the Tangled Shore. I really liked it. Shadowkeep kind of fell short of that, of the Forsaken
very much
big
so.
Juicy story parts. So I would love to have something like Forsaken again.
Yeah, it felt super short.
Forsaken was awesome
with Shadowkeep. Yeah, and you guys are right. Forsaken had a nice balance. I think it still missed that feeling of progression in a campaign, though, of shocking revelations, like what we saw with the Lie Quest. That's kind of a shocking revelation, and it's in the middle of nowhere. Like, you know what I mean, with the progression of the story and all that. I don't know if they'll be able to do that and have those type of
what's also
moments.
cool is that the Lie Quest also has an answer, right? It's not just like the start of another question. Whereas I feel like for the last 6 years, like they've built up all these questions, but we've very rarely gotten any answers to them.
We are the lost of video games.
Yeah. I think that's an apt comparison.
Turns out we were all dead. Oh God.
Wow. Spoiler.
Spoiler, Tefty. Jesus. But yeah, you're right. We have not had very many loose ends tied with story bits. And there's so many interesting parts.
Yeah, this one feels like a loose end tied, like it. Oh, okay, that's the story. That's cool. Do you think this is a 10-year game still? Like the original plan for Destiny was to be like a 10-year game. Do you think that path is still?
What do you mean by that? That like a
valid?
Franchise? Because, we're already halfway through it. Like, do you feel like Destiny, as it in and of itself, has some expiration? That Destiny Next or Destiny 3? Is that
I don't know.
What you're getting at?
I guess that's a question I'm asking.
In other words, at the end of 10 years, like that seems to be what you're asking. Versus you're not saying Destiny 2 lasting another 5 years, because that would be a different.
No. But like the Destiny franchise, like, is there an end point to Destiny? Like, is there a day when we beat the darkness and we, all right, wrapped it up. Nice job, guys. Pat each other on the back and go home, to like feet up and watch some YouTube.
I don't think so, because it's like if you look at other MMOs, I know Destiny is not an MMO, but they continue living forever, really.
Yeah.
So I don't think there'll ever be an end.
I think.
But don't they have a start and a finish to like the stories, and then when a new DLC drops, it's like at the beginning of a new story? Whereas we're still playing the story of Destiny 1, right? Like the
Yeah.
questions asked in the opening of Destiny 1 when you first start playing Destiny 1 are still unanswered.
Yeah, I think you can still do eras though, you know, whether it's in the future or it's in the past. Like this, you're right. This might have an end eventually of this story, or maybe this era entirely, right?
Maybe that's why there's so many stories going. So they can tie up one and then the story's still going because there's still like 17 other stories that we
Yeah.
don't have any answers to.
True.
It seems like
Yeah.
Destiny has a lot of strands of story. So I
Yeah.
think there's
Right,
enough
but
there.
the big
to-
one is the darkness, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right now.
It's the
Definitely.
Traveler in the darkness. The Traveler came, made us all like superheroes, and then the darkness is like, oh no, you didn't. You know, we need to like find out what happens once they clash.
Like it's been 2 years since the Traveler reawoke, and we haven't revisited that at all, right?
Mhm.
Unless it's happening in like lore pages that I'm not reading.
And we don't know about the 9, really. Still a lot going on there we don't know about. We don't know about a bunch of stuff. The Awoken, the Queen, what's she doing? Is she coming back?
Yeah, I mean the universe is so rich. Not only are there
She's
all
in
these
quarantine.
loose ends, yeah, these
She's
loose ends, like
quarantining.
you're saying, Watts. Like they can invent new stuff pretty easily. Like, you know, at one point the triangle ships were not on our minds, and then now it's all that's on our minds. And it's usually the best stories are that simple too. It's like there's good and bad fighting for
sure.
some sense of balance, and who do you trust, you know? And so I feel like that part's easy in this world. They could pretty much invent, you know, any planet, any thing, you know, they could
The
reinvent that in
homeworld
this world.
of
It's like Star Wars,
homeworld of the Cabal. Go check
Yeah,
that
yeah,
out.
actually-
You know,
right? Isn't it a little like Star Wars? Would you ever say like, oh, do we think Star Wars is like gonna run its course at some point?
Ooh,
And
I'd say it has, my
well,
friend.
wait, you can argue that
That ship has sailed.
I knew you were gonna freaking say that. You know, you could argue that certain, you know, movies didn't turn out as well as you wanted, but then you watch The Mandalorian, right? And I'm like, oh, actually, that's kind of fun.
That's more of a side story, though.
but
Like,
it's still Star Wars is my point.
it is, and like if we were to get like Destiny side stories, that's still Destiny. But what I'm wondering is like, is this main story of like the Traveler v Darkness, like, is that ever going to wrap up? Are we ever going to see a conclusion to that? Or like, does wrapping that story up like end Destiny? We could still have Mandalorian style, you know, side stories, but does it wrap it up? You know,
I don't think so.
killing
I think-
the Emperor wrapped up Star Wars.
But I don't think it did, to my earlier point, which is like you just reinvent the time and place that there's this great evil against this great, you know, force that wants to take it back, you know. And
but I mean, no, Breyer has a point. It's like there's a clash of good and evil, and then ultimately one of those either prevails or dies. The Emperor finally died, so that does wrap up that storyline. And I feel like they do want to wrap up the storyline of what Destiny is at some point, but I mean, maybe Destiny 2 is like eventually after a few more DLCs, our whole solar system is wiped out and destroyed, and then we're on the run, and then Destiny 3 starts with fresh everything 5,
man,
6, 7
Guardians of
years
the
down the
Galaxy.
road, and then all the ultimate shakedown of whatever us versus the darkness happens way down the road from that, and that's the wrap of the storyline. But I don't think they
Before Destiny even came out, they were talking about a 10-year plan, right? It's like Activision was talking about a 10-year plan for Destiny. You know, obviously that original plan is not at all relevant anymore, right? Like whatever plan was in place for Destiny as a franchise going into the release of Destiny 1, like that's not a thing anymore, right? It was, you know, they're not involved with Activision anymore. The original release schedule of the Destiny franchise was broken like almost immediately. So like whatever, like we kind of know now that there was never a story Bible, right? That like here are the story beats that this story has to hit, and like we've got to, you know, go from A to B to C to Z.
I actually do think they had that roughly over those 10 years, and I think it got blown up, to your point.
Well, the guy who
We
wrote
know
it
there
got
was-
fired.
Yeah, we know there were stories about it actually falling apart and like there being internal sort of struggle or whatever the true final issue was. But meaning, yeah, they've been reinventing it since. I think you're right. It's been more of a look, we've got something here. Now we just need to find new strands to pull on. And they did it with, the darkness.
Catching a tiger by the tail.
Yeah, but also they clearly don't want to finish up the story. I mean, if the studio wanted to finish up the story, they would have a long time ago, I think. But they understand they understand how lucrative it is to have it go for years and have people interested in, just like World of Warcraft. Think about it from a business perspective. That's extremely lucrative. So if they can keep on keeping people's interest, then of course they're going to want to keep that big chase of that ultimate story thread going until it makes sense for them to end the franchise.
Yep. Yeah, I think back to 2 weeks ago when Breyer, I think it was you or Watts, maybe you said, I don't think they know, as even gameplay, what they want this to be. They're still figuring it out. I think the story, to your current point, it's the same thing. They're like, we're figuring it out, but we're seeing things that are interesting, that are working, and certainly in the MMO world, we're seeing a little bit more. And I actually feel very confident that this September, October, whatever's going to happen is going to reinvigorate us in more of a way than Shadowkeep did, and maybe a little of the way that Forsaken did. Yeah. People hop into my chat, all the time, and I'm like, man, I'm just getting tired of this, man. What do you think's going to happen? Yeah, is Destiny over? But and I went off on this rant, so I'll share a small portion of that, which is like, let me tell you what's going to happen. Because it's May, and maybe it was February that you're like, I'm kind of feeling burnout. And how did you feel last February or May? And then one February or May before that. And then you're going to go through summer, and you're going to play other games. You're going to be bummed because you don't know where it's going. But then you're going to see the trailer soon. And then you're going to see, and then, you get it every September, October.
The hype machine starts kicking in.
85%
Summer is for hype.
It is, yeah. But I feel like, right, am I wrong in saying that 85% of the Destiny population usually come September, October is pretty hyped? Or do you guys think it's more split?
No, you nailed it right on the head. It's like, this is the lowest point every year.
Yeah.
Every year.
We'll get something in the early summer, but right after that content release, we'll start seeing trailers for the fall release. And that's going to get us super excited for the fall. Because that's their yearly big release, right?
Yeah, and
this fall I think is going to be big, man.
Yeah,
because we're dealing with the darkness, right? Like we're dealing with the pyramid ship, something that's been in the game for so long. When we're like, what is that? What's happening? Whereas Shadowkeep was about the hive, which is fine, but this is a much bigger thing, which is why I think it's going to switch more stuff up. That's why I'm saying that I think we're going to get a new element or whatever, because that will switch things up.
I sincerely hope we do get something that groundbreaking and changing in the game, in the whole sandbox, because it really needs it. Because if we have another DLC of basically what we have now with just some new things here and there, I'm going to be disappointed. I really am.
Yep.
Like I want an evolution of the sandbox.
I want the game to feel new again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was going to say, to me, it's like I always watch like the trend of, over the years, how has it changed? And when I look at what's happened with the Activision shakeup, and like Shadowkeep was in that weird spot, which we always remind of, like they had moved to Steam, and they had to do Stadia, and they had to do this and that, and they had a lot of things to figure out on top of unhooking from that publisher, and they reorganized themselves. We also know some people have left Bungie probably for budgetary reasons on top of creative reasons, and so they've totally restructured. And they had to do all that in the middle of that. Was Shadowkeep fell in the midst of that pretty much. Mm-hmm. And now that basically gave them this full 2 years where we know that I'm confident that, Mark and Luke and the creative team at the top has really been trying to cook up, I think, for this year to be the first bigger step. So that's why I'm speculating. I have no inside knowledge. I'm making this up. But I feel like we're in the right spot. And for the story, too, it's
Marabella.
Right? Yeah. I feel like we're going to be on this big metal ship all the time, which we got that peek at. I was like, this looks cool. This feels like Halo, just a little more like reflections on the wall. So that new enemy type, like not a thrall that has a different like arm on it, that you got to shoot. Like I feel like it'll be
true new enemy type. Yeah.
Like Watts is saying, maybe a new subclass. So I feel like even if it's not a true next sequel, we might get a pretty big shakeup. Plus a planet exploding probably for all, maybe more than one.
I'm down. Yeah. Before I was like, nah, but now
in a cutscene.
Yes.
I'm ready for something crazy.
Yeah.
I want like a Michael Bay style cutscene.
Right? I want
planet.
I want another Marasov type cutscene, right?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Something blowing up.
The Mara nuke?
What?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. What if somebody gets caught in the blast? What if Zavala gets caught in the blast?
Tom Skerritt.
He finally got off the island. Tom Skerritt.
You have all the blasts happening. Cut to the pyramid ship. It's a ghost K6 flying the ship. Oh my god.
I love
From
this.
the grave. Love
Yes.
it. Hey, he was on. You got Cade, or you got the Ace of Spades from off of Titan. That's where it was buried. His stuff.
We
Yeah,
find
in
we
the
find
arcology.
the driver is Ace, his son.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
That could be it.
So if they do destroy Titan, I gotta say I'm a little disappointed that they never really explore the arcology.
Same.
Because
it's one of my favorite areas.
right,
Mhm.
a raid in the arcology would have been
Beautiful.
amazing.
And there's a giant freaking sea monster just strolling around.
They're gonna nuke that sea monster? Come on!
You gotta kill that thing. Gotta kill it.
No, we make it a pet or something.
Yeah, maybe it
It's a
doesn't blow
beautiful
up.
place, and like nothing goes in
It's a
there.
summon.
There's nothing.
Yeah.
You walk around there, go under Titan. It's a beautiful spot. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
You got a sea monster. Yeah.
Yeah, because
yeah, maybe it just gets ravaged and you could still go back at some point later.
oh, that's true. Could be that. I mean, it's already like dilapidated, the arcology. So I don't want them to just completely destroy it. So it's like a torn apart floating chunk in space. And they're like, here's the arcology. No, I wanted to see that grow and have like an actual transmat spot to go there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, seems like we're a little bit excited. Hopefully,
We are excited.
we don't know. Yeah, I don't know if there's been any leaks or anything. I haven't seen, but we don't know when the teaser for September or October, whenever it's going to be, is. Do we?
Nope.
No.
We don't know.
I'm guessing.
No, but we should start seeing the summer stuff soon, right?
Oh yeah.
Do you guys want to take like a bet? I don't know what the bet is.
Bet
but-
on when we're gonna see it.
Yeah.
When we're gonna start seeing info?
No, the actual like when they go online and they're like, "Hey guys, welcome to the next look at
For the DLCs?
Oh, like
the future
next
DLC?
Stream, so
The
when will be the
expansion.
stream for the
Stream in the trailer.
fall DLC?
All right, I'm
Okay.
calling it right
the
now.
stream and trailer. What
So,
day?
The new season is like the 6th or 7th of June, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm gonna call 2 weeks after that. We're gonna get the official stream on a Wednesday
You
or a
gotta pick a
Thursday.
date. Okay, that would be a 17th or 18th on a. Yeah.
It's E3 week.
Well, yeah. I mean, E3. You knew normally I think would have been the week before, but pretty much you're right. Exactly. So
It's
that's
around.
on
It's
the-
around the E3 timeline, right there.
Oh,
Yep.
now I don't know.
That's a month away, basically. I'm.
Mm.
When's the
almost-
Microsoft thing? When are they doing their
They
like?
They've
said
been
July.
pretty buddy with Microsoft. They've been
They
a
said
little...
July. So I think
Yeah.
it's too far.
Mm-hmm.
It's too far out.
I don't
Oh,
think
yeah.
so.
I don't know. I don't know.
Uh,
Imagine on the big stage of Microsoft. You know,
mhm.
they get the full
July for the
spotlight.
next look at.
And
like,
then they
Phil Spector's wearing a Bungie
uh,
T-shirt. He's wearing
and
an
then
I
they
Hate
talk
Warlocks
about
T-shirt.
60 FPS
He,
at the same time on the
Uh-huh.
new Xbox
Ooh, yeah.
console.
but
Now you're
Mhm.
speaking my language.
Mhm.
he also walks
I think I
out
can
with the
see that.
printed Galahorn on his back. Be like, "Hey, Guardians!"
Ooh.
Right?
I don't think
Now
they'll
we're
wait that
talking.
long to show that, but if you want to place that bet,
You know, I'm
what do
gonna
you
say
Yeah, I'll
something's
pla- I'll place it there.
something's gonna happen August 12th. Don't know what it is.
That's
That
so
far out?
Yeah.
August.
We're saying the first.
Something.
The
Something's
that's
happening. I'm just saying.
We're saying the
Something's
first.
happening August
really
12th.
trying to get out of this.
Something is happening
She
August
won't
12th.
commit.
There we go. I'm gonna go with that.
Last year they started
Oh.
showing Shadowkeep basically a week or 2 weeks after Season of Opulence hit. So that's why I think
Yeah.
they're going to
That's
start
really
spring. I know, right? I
But
think they're
like,
going to start.
I mean, this
sprinkling
year
it.
is very different than last year. Last year, they were like it seemed like they were trying to get out ahead of E3, whereas there is no E3 this year.
Right.
Would that
So
really
Brad,
make it?
And if Microsoft is getting like giving you their full support, like this is going to be a launch game
Oh.
on the Xbox One, running at 4K, 60 FPS, and here it is.
My bad.
And
So-
crossplay.
My bad.
Give
It
me
was
a
2
freaking
days after. But here's the
Week
thing.
Even Breyer. What are you saying? After July 4th? Like both you and Watts won't commit to a timeline. Teft was right.
I'm
in
saying
there.
at the Microsoft event.
So yeah, when we look
Okay.
at what was that the Game
It's in
Fest?
July.
Was it the Summer Game Fest that had Bungie on the logo of developers that are involved?
That was the that was
Or was that the
no,
Microsoft?
that was the PS5 thing.
Oh.
No, yeah, you're right. That was
No, it
Microsoft.
was
That was
some-
Microsoft. Yeah.
But yeah, it was Microsoft's third party.
So we
like,
know that
lineup.
Bungie is showing something at a Microsoft event.
They would not reveal the big
They're not
DLC at there. I guys,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not
I'm with you
happening.
on that.
They are going to
Oh,
do their
yeah.
own live
It's
stream.
happening.
No, they're
Get
going to do
used to
their.
it.
They're doing their own live stream to reveal
Buy
the
the
DLC.
t-shirt.
Teft knows.
They are. They
Got
are.
dates on the back.
They're doing their own They're doing their own reveal on their own Twitch stream, and for Microsoft, they're gonna reveal something like crossplay or like the 60 FPS or the specs or whatever, or like
maybe
one exotic quest or some crap like that. You know, I think that's what they're gonna do because I don't think they're gonna want to wait. I think they're gonna want to get ahead of the what's after the season immediately because technically there is no incentive to buy beyond the season pass now. Once you're into the last season, that's it. So they have to start marketing their next product right away.
They're going to hit a story beat, right? We're going to have like this, the thing's going to drop. We're going to have the initial missions. It's going to be a week break. There's going to be something else come out. So 3 weeks. 3 weeks after the drop is what I'm going for.
After season 11?
After
what you're saying?
the next season. Like the final season before September, which is the next
That
season.
would be June 30th.
June 30th. I'm going to say that because it's going to be main story. It's going to be a little bit of drip feed. We're going to have a monumental thing that's like, oh, God. And then they drop the trailer showing.
All right. I do want to point out, you don't want to guess too close to Bungie Day because Bungie Day has historically not been PR related towards their releases. So,
So, okay. Wait, so
well, that's good. So we got Watts at June 30th.
Tuesday. July 1st.
You going with a Wednesday or Thursday, Teft?
I'm going with a Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a Wednesday.
Oh, July 1st.
Wednesday for me. What is it?
The 17th.
June 17th for me.
Yeah, they got to give us a full day to prepare for the podcast.
Briar's still just like
it.
sometime in the 7 month.
I'm saying at the Microsoft event.
We don't know what day that is yet. All right. But fair enough. Whenever it has the date, that's what you're committed to. I like it.
Briar, you've already lost.
I'm moving it up. I'm going to do the whole underbid, just $1 under Teft here. June 11th. No, not that bad. The week before, so the week of season 11's release.
Okay,
it comes out. Everybody's kind of pumped. Okay, cool, new season, and they're gonna latch onto that hype. They're like, we need to bring everybody together during this week. So June 11th on a Thursday.
You're not wrong.
Bring that hype together before the weekend.
You're not wrong because Shadowkeep was. People were correcting me in chat. It was 2 days after the season dropped. They started talking about Shadowkeep.
Was it? Okay. And that would have been E3 week as well.
I like what the Way of the Road just said in chat. He said something we do in-game during this new season will trigger the new trailer to drop. So
18 million thrall kills.
You trigger it. No.
How about
that would be amazing.
How about 30 million public events?
That would be awesome. Be even better if it shows it in-game.
Yes.
Yeah. I like this though because like I think it gives people hopefully a little expectation. We're pretty close now. We're either a month or 2 away from absolutely knowing. I really do think it'll be sooner. I mean, July 1st, maybe, Watts.
They should have a thing where we have to sit in the tower and watch people do public events on the Jumbotron in the tower. And once we've crossed a certain number of hours watching other people do public events on the Jumbotron, then they then they unveil it.
What if a black hole is all of a sudden it shows up in the middle of the tower and just consumes the whole Destiny universe, and we all gotta just wait to see what happens next?
Yeah.
Nobody's ever done that before.
Black screen. Just sit there.
I like Fortnite.
Fortnite
that event was pretty baller. They erased. Wouldn't that be something for Destiny? They erased everything, and you log in, and you're like, "Whoa, what's next?" That would be the
character
play.
creation pops
Honestly.
up. You're like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah.
And just as you're about to hit finalize, after you spend 1 hour on character creation, it explodes to a cutscene.
But your character creation is the life before you were a guardian. Before you woke up.
Oh. Wow.
Tef,
Find out that you're a real shitbag.
You evicted people for your lifetime.
Teft on the Jumbotron.
Dickhead landlord.
What's that, friend?
I was gonna say on the Jumbotron, are you watching just gameplay of people, or is it their Twitch channels that we're watching?
I haven't actually thought about the joke that far.
I think it should be Twitch streams.
Yeah,
But
sure.
we're watching Twitch streams in the game of them playing the game, but you get the idea.
Yeah, definitely.
But you only see it from the thrall's perspective.
Oh,
you actually are what?
You know what? I want to watch that actually. That'd be pretty great.
Tommy the thrall
is Tommy the
hiding
thrall
in the corner,
streaming?
and his guardian just comes shooting around the corner, shoots him in the head for no reason.
Yeah.
Other than he was here. Who's the real villain?
I want spin-off
Tommy didn't do
stories.
shit.
from Bungie, which are the day in the life of all of the bad guys.
Yeah,
Like the
Hive,
Sims, but Thrall.
the Hive have their own
Tommy's
streaming
been
network.
working his way through night school, trying to get good grades so he can go to state college, get a good job,
Become a
and
knight.
provide for his family.
Maybe
And all of a
become
sudden,
a
some
king.
asshole with Antaeus Wards comes around the corner, fucks him up. Not only fucks him up, fucks up his whole family.
Bummer.
Tommy
didn't do shit.
All right.
He was just born in a bad situation.
I
you know?
just hope Bungie's taking notes on these ideas.
I mean, we are available for consultation. They know where to find us.
Another idea which I was talking about today, which is not in the game, which isn't related to lore or anything at all, but I want a slug shotgun with Firefly.
Ooh, yeah.
Because imagine how fun it would be to run in there to a team, shoot them in the head, it explodes, and then you have the bomb pants on, so you dodge, the bomb pops out, kills everybody. This is what we need in our life.
I like it.
Doesn't sound like fun.
Slug shotgun, Firefly.
This is actually a good segue into a TWAB that was released today. Mhm.
Speaking of bombs,
All right.
Speaking of new perks,
speaking of bombing things,
Speaking of slug shotties in PvE.
yeah, that's what I was talking about.
So
I didn't
yeah,
read
we
this
haven't
yet,
even talked
so you'll
about
have
the
to
news.
update me.
Briar,
Well,
you read it to us and be surprised while you're reading it.
It's awfully long. You want me to start reading at the beginning?
Read the
'Cause
whole
I haven't
thing.
read any of it. I'm not
you
going
can
to
read
do
the
that.
beginning at least. Intro's pretty straightforward.
It's
It was
pretty
just about the
straightforward.
lie,
All right.
though.
Many of you have been chasing a lie. Last week, you began your hunt with Anna, successfully defending Seraph Towers in the Winding Cove, Anchor of Light, and Rupture. For watched as your fellow guardians carried the weight.
Yeah.
You burned through 1,000 enemies with your trusty shotgun. Sadly, your quest for answers came to a halt on Sunday evening, all thanks to a faulty door on the moon's bunker. Earlier this morning, Destiny 2 hotfix 2.8.1.3 was released, unblocking your journey in finding truth behind the lie. While we hate to see a bug ship, we're excited to right the ship as quickly as possible. Now we look forward to what comes next. Season of the Worthy is winding down, which means it's time for a round of previews for the team. This week, we're hyper-focused on legendary engrams and weapon tuning.
Whoa.
Yeah.
A lot of
Juicy.
tuning
Juicy.
is coming.
Yep.
With the next season, right?
Yeah. Well,
Mm-hmm.
they
talked
talked
a
about
little bit about some stuff in 12, right?
exactly. It's this season and next season.
Yeah, like how do we break all this down? Because it's
Well,
so
let's
much.
talk. Let's see. What are they first?
Should we give them the overview?
Yeah. So they're going to change the world drop loot pool because they said there's a crap load of loot in the world drop loot pool right now, and they need to prune it down. And they gave the list from like Uriel's Gift to like Truth Teller, Lonesome, Wishbringer, stuff like that. Escape Velocity.
Dire
This
Bones.
is the stuff that's making the cut that'll be available in the next season.
Yeah, it says the world pool for season 11 will consist of the following weapons. So if there is a specific weapon that you're chasing right now in the world pool, you should go and look at that list. I'm not going to read them all out because it's like 30 something weapons. And if your weapon that you're chasing is not on there, then you might need a grind right now to try to get that weapon.
And I will mention,
yeah.
Nature of the Beast is coming back, which is one of my favorite hand cannons ever. It was an old Crucible 180 hand cannon.
Oh,
And
there's
that
that stuff.
Year
is
one?
coming back again.
I always
stuff
liked
on
it. I
here.
never got a good roll, and was never able to
That's cool.
really utilize it. but-
It's coming. I love it. I love that gun. So excited.
I actually
Yeah,
didn't
was that a
realize there was new
180?
stuff.
Came back.
180, right?
It's a 180. Yep. It was like my first love of a gun in Destiny 2, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I recall
Really,
that
you
gun
didn't
now.
love Uriel's?
Mm-hmm.
Urinal Cake's Gift.
Urinal cake.
Okay, so yeah, there's a bunch of weapons that are like, well, I don't know how many weapons are getting cut from that pool, but you should take a look at that if you're interested in that. That being said, there's always going to be new stuff to chase. So
Right. And as a reminder, it is because of like this stuff's coming right with a new max power level. Right.
Oh,
So
right.
that they say, right, every season gear from previous season. Well, I'm cutting this off. Maybe we should just read this part. So the shared pool can also be unwieldy. If you're looking for a specific role of a specific weapon, a pool too large can make it statistically challenging to find, much less with the role that you want. Starting in Season 11, it will be curated both for relevance and overall size to strike a balance between the number of rewards and the chance to get that sought-after drop. So every season, gear from previous seasons will be added, and any gear that would no longer have a max power level greater than or equal to the current season cap will be cycled out. I think that's the part we're all still a little unfamiliar with, and that is to ensure that the drops are power relevant in this season. So making sure that you're focusing on getting these drops, but they also have the relevant power. That's how I read it, right? So I think season 11, if I'm not mistaken, is our first step to this max power level, right? The weapons having max power level attached.
I think so, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, and that's the reason behind it. So it's a big list. There's quite a bit of stuff on it, but
cool. So moving on, right?
So yeah.
Lock and reload. Alongside the changes to the world loot pool, we have some changes coming to Destiny 2 Sandbox. This week we will be focusing on weapons, specifically perk tuning. Here's a quick breakdown. Reload perk updates. This
was interesting.
This is
Here we go.
Interesting, yeah. So they're saying the damage perks were adjusted quite a while back, but reload perks still don't feel like they don't feel like choices. They feel like you have to have them, like Outlaw, Feeding Frenzy, and all that. The tuning pass aims to keep them feeling powerful without being so dominant that no other choices seem viable. When I read this,
So they're gonna nerf it.
They're nerfing some reload.
They're nerfing reload. Yeah.
when I read that, I was like, oh, here we go.
Yeah, this is bad news.
It's
Is it?
No.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Why?
at all.
Why no? Why no?
Because how do you create more interesting perks for guns if it's just we're gonna keep outlaw and we're gonna keep kill clip exactly the same? What they're trying to do is bring those down a little bit to make some things that are already in the game viable,
If
and
more
then add
interesting
new
means
ones.
weaker, then
And
I agree
add
with you.
new ones because they've stated further on that they're adding new perks with the next season. 2 are going to be unique to Iron Banner.
This sounds
so
to me
they're
like
bringing
they're
down
sunsetting
the
all my
ones
good
that are-
weapons, and they're gonna give me shitty ones.
Why?
kind
I
of-
mean, if you want to keep playing a game where outlaw kill clip is the best thing, then absolutely, you just keep buffing stuff, and then you get power creep, and then the game is boring and uninteresting. But in order to balance things, you can't just buff things. You have to nerf, and you have to buff, and you have to introduce new things. So, that's when I read this, I was like, they're clearly bringing stuff down to be able to buff some of this stuff up, put it on the same level, and then they're going to be introducing new things
Yeah, that
for us to play around with.
it's really good you brought that up now. And maybe before we read through the new perks stuff. So Taft, I don't know if you want to quickly read that or something.
New perks.
Here
If
we
you're
go.
there,
So
otherwise I can. But yeah,
So they talk about
this
like
is
the
big news.
Yeah, they talk about the archetype of reload and the reload stat perk and all that. They said that most weapons have a fairly high reload stat to begin with, so decreasing a reload stat bonus from 100 to 50 will still max out the reload stat for most of the time for most weapons that get like Outlaw or Feeding Frenzy or whatever. And so does not slow down.
Can we pause just for a second? Reload in this game is what makes it playable. It makes it, to me, it makes it playable. I don't want guns that have slow reloads because I just get, especially like hand cannons are especially bad with this, is if it's got a slow reload, it infuriates me.
So
And I will gravitate toward reload perks because they make the game fun, not because they make the gun more powerful, but because shortening the reload time, it's just less time watching an animation for me.
Hold on, Briar.
But you're still going to have these.
Yeah, before
They're not going away.
we hash out the details, you should hear the changes that they're doing to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
and also Tef, and not to interrupt, what all I was referencing real quick was what Watt said is under all this is, and we don't have to read it all, but they said we'll have new perks rolling exclusively on the next season of Redacted. That's season 12. Or wait, is it the next season period? I think it's. Wait, I don't know which it is, but there's new
I think
perks.
it was
coming
further
in.
down.
Wait.
It was further down. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But that you do have to make room.
So most weapons will still get maxed out reload, even though they're nerfing it from 100 plus 100 to plus 50 for Outlaw. So most weapons will still have considerably fast reload on that. The following perks that alter these reload stats are being updated. So Outlaw slows.
Does that mean they're having the speed that Outlaw gives you, the speed boost?
It is slowed down a little bit in the words.
So reload stat from 100 to 50 on Outlaw, and then the reload duration scale from 0.8 to 0.9. So the actual speed of it as well is getting slowed down a bit. 0.8 to 0.9, I mean, that's 10% right there. Right?
Yep.
It's still going to be quick, but it's not going to be as quick as before. Feeding Frenzy is interesting because they're changing it. Like it's actually
This one
stacking
was
now.
interesting.
This was strictly better than Outlaw, so we're changing functionality based on the number of rapid kills. Functionality changed to increase reload speed based on number of rapid kills up to 5. With 2 kills, reload speed is equal to updated Outlaw, so plus 50. With plus 3 kills, it's faster than Outlaw. With 4 kills, it's the fastest reload in the game except for Alloy Mag. And max possible reload duration from 0.83 to 0.8. Yeah. Max reload stat unchanged at plus 100. So Feeding Frenzy seems like it's going to be one of the best ones.
Yeah.
If you're killing a bunch of stuff.
And you just got to get the kill. So yeah, that's actually nice to see. It makes it more interesting versus before. Yeah, you just got like a few kills and it was just better, I guess, right?
Yeah, you're playing the kill game on that. Rapid Hit gave a huge amount of reload and stability for very little work. Front loaded onto the first precision hit. We updated this so it still feels good but isn't quite as powerful. Adjusted stacking bonus to give less benefit for the first hit and more with subsequent hits. Max possible reload stat from 100 to 60, so they're dropping that into more like Outlaw. Max possible reload duration scale from 0.8 to 0.925. That's a lot right there. Mm-hmm. Max stability stat from plus 50 down to plus 25. And then we have Drop Mag, situationally powerful without a massive drawback, as good as a perk, but in a magazine column. Reload duration scale from 0.85 to 0.9, so they slowed it down a bit. So it brings it in line with Outlaw, the nerfed Outlaw. Field Prep unchanged, but for reference, the reload stat was plus 50, and reload duration scale was 0.8, so that's not being changed at all. Field Prep. And then Alloy Mag, also unchanged, but for reference, reload empty duration scale 0.6666. So Alloy Mag is very fast.
Yeah, I never quite realized how fast it was, but seeing this,
it's the animation.
This is just the empty duration scale. But you know, the way I read these is like if one is 100% of like just normal, then it's pretty much right that much faster at 0.666. That's like almost, it's not twice as fast. It's like a third faster probably, right? But that's just for the empty animation. So I don't know how that relates to all the other stuff. I don't know why they didn't give us the numbers on the other stuff because it's not changing. But
so let me get through a few other things here, and then we'll talk about the perk situation because I have thoughts as well. Additionally, fixing an issue or perks granted partial weapon ammo did not respect the burst count. So for things like pulse rifles, fusion rifles, burst sidearms, and they will be more common on those weapons archetypes. In the future, Slideways, Slide Shot, Ambitious Assassin, Subsistence, Overflow, Lead from Gold, Clown Cartridge. So apparently those weren't working properly with like burst type of stuff. Apparently they're going to be fixed. And then general perk retuning, open up. So with opening up space by adjusting reload perks, we retuned some other underused perks based on our initial testing and perk popularity and effectiveness data from our analytics. Dynamic sway reduction. Yeah. Adds 10 stability over time in addition to accuracy. This is way more powerful than it sounds. Reduced reticle movement from stability should now tell players this is working. Bungie giving us a hint that, hey, don't throw away those guns with dynamic sway reduction. Pulse monitor take critical damage, and you can quickly swap or switch to your now fully loaded shotgun.
That was interesting.
Yeah.
Sorry, I know there's other stats.
No, yeah, it's good. It's a
but that's interesting for sure.
So now apparently it's fully reloaded because it says reload amount from 0.35 to 1. So I guess your shotgun gets, like I said,
100%
fully reloaded.
the mag or something. See, that's why I read those as percentages, I guess, the scale of percentage. But like, I guess before it was like it only maybe reloaded about 0.35 or a third of the mag is how I'm reading it. Now it's like the whole
Makes
thing.
sense.
Yeah. Plus 50 handling also when Pulse Monitor is active. 5% faster swap speed. So you get faster handling, you get faster swap speed. This works on stowed weapons too, which was already the case, but makes it a lot more useful as of now. So the Pulse Monitor, I mean, that was a decent one, but...
Yeah, it sounds interesting because now I want to know how close does that bring it to quick draw in terms of like the swap speed. I have no point of reference on like
let's get Fallout on
how
that.
much. Yeah, but it might get you a little closer to almost.
Well, Pulse Monitor only works when you get
a critical
damage.
hit now.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's going to work every time, but it's interesting anyway.
Yep. And then we got Hipfire Grip. Now lets you hit shots closer to ADS ranges. Still does not affect damage drop off or magnetism. So 1.2 times aim assist fall off. So increasing the aim assist fall off. plus 15 aim assist, plus 1.7 degrees precision hip fire angle threshold. By default, when hip firing a weapon, the center of your reticle must be over a target in order to get a crit. Otherwise, aim assist will give you a body shot. This changes you. This gives you a little leniency. So if the center of your reticle is not directly over a target, you will still get the crit if you're within the angle. And this has no effect on sniper rifles. So if you do have snipers with that, no change. And then finally, sneak bow. Everybody's favorite perk, sneak bow. Actually makes you sneaky now. Stealth buff does not ping radar when shooting. That's actually fascinating right there. Sneak bow.
I was trying to. What's the use case though? Like, are you really gonna go around the Crucible, like crouch walking, like trying to like? I don't. Like,
Yes.
I mean, I don't know.
Somebody out there is yes.
Somebody will, I guess.
I mean, there's tons of people who crouch walk all over the Crucible, right?
Yeah. But like, I guess I didn't even realize before when you shot the bow, like I didn't realize like sound pings the radar. I thought they're gonna see you anyway as a player, right?
Yeah.
You're sneaky.
Yeah.
Sneak bow,
so-
now sneaky. That's the buff.
Yeah.
But anyway, it seems like they're trying to play around with the stuff like Pulse Monitor, where more than it just being a couple perks, it also has this now, right? Fully reloads your other weapon. So it's interesting.
So my initial take on seeing that, should we continue all the way through on the new perks and upcoming archetype buffs and all that? Or should we get into this now?
I think it'd be okay to talk about how we feel about the reload stuff.
Yeah.
After hearing that.
So while I do agree that they need to make room in the perk pool, or they need a plan for stuff, for adjustments and all that, going about it by looking at the reload perks and saying we need to chop these down now in order to give you more variety, it lands really flat for me. Like, I don't see anything in this that says, here's the real reason you're going to want to switch up your perk pool next season. And obviously that could be coming in a TWAB down the road, but going after the reload perks to make the game feel slower with your weapons, or to force me to use something else like auto-loading holster or something, I don't feel like that's it. I feel like they need to actually lead with, hey, here's some new perks that are clearly going to be what you want to go after with new weapons, as opposed to
reload perks in this game make guns usable for me, because there are so many guns in this game where the standard reload animation is horrific. And I get taking a look at the reload perks that change damage, right? Like, that makes sense. You want a pool of perks that are, comparable. And if some of them in the reload class give you too much extra damage after reload, I get it. But just speeding up reload, to me, lessens the enjoyment of a ton of different guns. It's the stat that I always looked for, even if it was not an optimal stat by like Fallout standards. When I play this game, it is more fun to me to have a fast reload, and especially with Outlaw, because that fast reload is now tied to my performance. Whereas if I don't hit headshots and I have to go through a slow reload, like, I feel like almost like disappointed in myself. You know what I mean? Outlaw was one of my favorite perks in this game because it just makes the game more enjoyable. The fast reload makes the gameplay feel faster and more enjoyable. And for them to nerf that is a real bummer for me. Like, because it is tied very directly to my enjoyment of the game. Very directly. Because slow reload weapons they're heartbreaking to me.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, because especially like I play like Borderlands as well, and man, when you run into like all your guns are empty and you're trying to reload, and certainly Destiny, same thing. It's like, man, I hate stuff that takes forever to reload. That's why even sometimes when I have like a machine gun or something, I'm like, I'll use it once and then I just will leave it alone. Like, if I don't have auto loading holster or something, I'll just be sitting there for a while until I want to get back to that freaking giant reload, because it can be super unenjoyable. But I'm hopeful that a little bit is truly a little bit, that it's going to be that if we did like the Coke versus Pepsi test on you, Brian, like, hell, is this faster or slower? Then hopefully it's that close that you're like, okay, this is maybe a little bit slower. We're like, actually, that was Coke. But I hope that the changes are subtle and not massive, because when I read it,
they look subtle.
they look subtle, and it also, you know, brings up whatever's next. Like, what are these new perks, and what are they making room for in these balances? We don't know, to be fair to that.
But currently,
have
do you
trouble-
even have to think about having a reload perk on a gun when you can dodge as a hunter, you can wear Dragon Shadow, you can put enhanced reload speed on your gloves. Like, there's so many things that you can choose to increase your reload, auto loading holster, slide shot, all of those. There's so many options that it's like, well, I don't even need to have a gun with good reload because
So
I never
maybe
have
it's
to
not
reload
a
my
gun.
gun.
Maybe it's just not as tied to your experience as it is to mine. But for me, when I have a gun that reloads slow, it takes it out of the playfield for me. Like
I don't even have the experience because it's important to me, so I use Dragon Shadow.
It's so frustrating for me to have a gun that reloads slow, and I don't always play as a hunter. You know, like I played most of year one as a warlock, legitimately. No matter what we say on this podcast about hating on warlocks, because of Ophidian aspects, because of the fast reload speed. You know, like that was year one for me, was playing with Ophidian aspects because of the fast reload speed.
So
to nerf reload speeds to me is a bummer.
I was
real
laughing
bummer.
because Watts hates reload so much he doesn't even reload.
Yeah,
I know. That is pretty funny. Yeah,
Think
like
about it.
in D1, one of the things that was amazing when you got that Fatebringer was seeing that reload proc and getting headshots, getting the explosion, and having outlaw proc and all that. Like that was exciting, and I hear what you're saying, Watts, because when I use machine guns, when I use anything that takes a long time to reload, I'm immediately using Dragon Shadows, and I'm never reloading that gun. And yes, it doesn't affect me, but at the same time, I'm actually taking out part of the experience of using that weapon, which is the pacing of shots and then a reload and all that. Like that's kind of a core game experience that that Dragon Shadows kind of bypasses completely. So while yeah, for a hunter, really doesn't make that much of a difference. I guess the thing that worries me in reading this between the lines is that they're leading with this, and that makes me nervous about what the sandbox is actually going to look like. Is it going to look like these fine little tweaks to what we already have with like a little bit of a new perk added that gives like a broad adjustment to stuff, like, oh, it gives reload and range, or like, you know, like, I worry about those things because I don't want to see the same sandbox with a few adjustments. I want to see big plays, big changes, things that feel like a new season or a new new DLC. You know, like a new chapter.
Last week we were talking about returning weapons, right? And how we didn't want to see returning weapons. So if we're playing with returning weapons, they're sunsetting our current weapons, and the returning weapons that we're going to try and earn have worse perks than what we've got. That's going to feel super shitty.
I guess what would constitute a worst perk for you? If it's like a
gun is not as fun as it used to be.
But you're probably going to have the case going forward that you don't have a single perk that you can pick that is as good as the single perk that you used to use, because they're trying to go towards making builds with mods and perks. So there's probably going to be a perk that drops that's really, really good with this other thing that you put in your build. But as a standalone, it's not as good as just like standalone outlaw.
They've got to prove that. I'm not going to give them the benefit of the doubt on that.
They've kind of proved it to me with Warmind cells. If they can do that with such short time, and if they actually bake it into the game of perks and mods and armor and all of that working together and do something like Warmind cells, but obviously go further, I would love that.
Yeah. I mean, at a base price, I totally hear you. Yeah, if all of a sudden all the guns feel slower or something, and you just can't get a roll that you're like, everything actually feels slower, that would bum me out. I hate slow reload too, but on the other side, I'm more with Watts, I think, which is like you can't just have everything's fast reload and all you're looking for is outlaw, which actually rolls quite a bit, and I think there's between the lines too. There is interesting, like if you have feeding frenzy on something, actually you're gonna want to use that more than outlaw now, but you're gonna have to earn it with the 4 kills. But now it's faster than outlaw, by the way. So, between the lines, there's something in there. And I bring that point up because I did want to say that it's total coincidence. I was just saying, playing Destiny the other day, I was like, and I've been playing a lot of Borderlands too. I was like, when you get the fastest reload possible, like, all your perks line up, etc. And it's such a cool feeling. And you want to make sure you leave room for those supercharged moments. So, right, like yeah, I don't want everything to be supercharged because then nothing's special either. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I do want a reason to use, alloy mag and really focus on it. And granted, I probably wasn't smart enough for it in the first place, but I look to the new perks though. I know I'm always like in the middle, being objective, but I'm wait and see on what are these new perks.
That's how I feel
in
too.
addition to these bounces.
But I'm also really cautious about it because they haven't really proven to me that they're going to be big with the new perks. It always kind of feels like, yeah, little hints here and there as opposed to big changes. And it feels like the Warmind stuff, they don't want to commit dramatically to big sandbox changes because
they're afraid to break stuff, right?
Exactly. They're afraid that they're going to introduce something that's going to be a problem for 2-3 years. And I understand that for sure. It's a tough problem to crack.
My concern is that in year 3 or year 4 that I'm grinding for weapons that I'm just trying to replace stuff that I had. Like I'm basically grinding for the same stuff that I had in year 1 or year 2. Right? It's like that's my biggest concern is that I'm just grinding for the same exact stuff, and the only reason I'm grinding for it is because they took it away.
Yeah.
It's like when they took away, it's like in Destiny 1, year 1, when, the first DLC came out and none of your exotics came with you, or you still had them, but they weren't the current power level. So you had to re-earn the exotic and you had to re-grind it. Like that's kind of the feeling that I hope I don't feel based on this system is that I already have an awesome Dire Promise. So we know Dire Promise is going to be available again. Am I just grinding for another Dire Promise with the promise that it's going to last longer than the current one? Because that's not satisfying. Like you're just taking away my old one, so I have to grind for a new one. That's not satisfying. I want something new. If you're going to take away my old stuff, I want a new feeling.
Yeah.
I don't want to just grind for the same stuff I had.
Yeah, we definitely need just new weapons, period. Like that'll be the first start, but then definitely like new perks like Vorpal, I thought is pretty solid, and when I got Vorpal on something and you could even get, I was chasing for Vorpal on my what's the sniper from last season that we all
Trophy
love?
Hunter?
Yeah, Trophy Hunter. Getting that with Vorpal and like I cashed in a bunch of points trying to get that. So I hope there's a perk is somewhat as good as that or even better, that we're actually chasing that. Not only is hopefully your current Dire Promise like okay, but you get it with that new perk and you're like, oh sweet. Like, so I don't know, I'm kind of, to your point, I'm counting on that. It's like got to be a really good perk, not just slightly better.
Dire Promise will be in that pool next season, so you can't.
I know it will. Yeah, I'm seeing that.
I got one with Overflow.
I mean,
it's nice.
Like when that Dire Promise that you got with Overflow gets sunset, which Dire Promise are you going to be excited to go grind for?
Well, and that's exactly why I'm like, they have to prove to me that that's not going to be the case for these following years of Destiny. Otherwise, I am going to be disappointed and burn out on it because I definitely don't want to be just chasing the exact same gear with a different look. Like I want an evolution. That's what I've been saying. I want the sandbox to evolve, and I want things to feel significantly different after several years, not a little bit different.
Yeah, it's funny that it comes on the heels of getting. By the way, did we mention the God roll that is Felwinter's lie?
We didn't talk about the roll at all.
We didn't even talk about
the roll.
It's the irony of like, oh, by the way, we just put in your hands the God roll, and you can choose opening shot or Vorpal weapon, right? Is that right? I think so. Yeah. So it's what full choke, accurized, quick draw, and opening shot, or Vorpal. So anybody can go get this. So in other words, I think it is interesting that it's like they're giving this amazing shotgun that everybody's just going to have now. There's actually some people already testing and checking, saying that it might completely just be super powerful, which I find
like the original was.
Yeah, which they should honor that. But at the same time, I'm like, man, everybody just gets this. Like, I'm still sitting on a Mindbenders with rifle that's like, it was the curated. I'm like, it's all right. It's fine. It's actually pretty good. But I never got God rolls in that slot. And now all of a sudden everybody has them. So my point being, yeah, I really hope the next season is more than just, I got Felwinters. I don't really need whatever this next thing is. I really hope we need whatever it is. And if not that season, then okay. September, October, fix it then.
Yeah.
But
Should we continue
good
on
weapons.
Should we continue on the 12?
Yeah.
They had
Go
new
for it.
perks.
Watts, did you say your piece? Oh, sorry. I
Sorry,
was like, did
Watts,
Watts?
yeah.
Oh no, balancing is where you nerf things and buff things.
Yeah.
There you go. That's balance.
I saw her in chat a lot as well. That's why I asked. So.
Okay, new perks. Next season, we'll have new perks rolling exclusively on the season of redacted weapons. Additionally, Iron Banner will be receiving 2 new perks on 2 reprised weapons. In future seasons, these perks will begin to roll on other weapons as well. I actually like that, where they introduce some perks on some exclusive weapons and then bring those perks later on in another season for more availability. I like that, yeah. While we don't want to spoil fun of discovering and testing new perks, we will leave you with the names of upcoming Iron Banner perks: Iron Grip and Iron Gaze. We are excited to see the community break these perks down with the new season begins. When the new season begins. Iron Grip and Iron Gaze.
Gaze. I just think of short gaze immediately when I read that.
Yeah.
Going back.
Yeah.
Same.
The sniper scope.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
What do you
So
think?
I wonder. Yeah.
What do you think Iron Grip's going to be?
No idea.
It's gonna. I don't know. Yeah, I think of Hipfire when I see it, but probably not. I bet it's handling.
Maybe it's like an enhanced Icarus grip.
Oh, that'd be interesting. Yeah, a little jump.
Yeah.
I'm sure they want us to speculate everything under the sun. Like, we don't know, but
I think it's like a no flinch type of thing.
yeah, I think it's more interesting.
And you
maybe
just
that,
give
like,
really good handshakes. And you just give a solid handshake.
Firm handshake.
It's actually
it's a new emote where you just
I
like
was about to say,
put her there, pal.
it's an Eververse emote, actually. Spoilers. You can buy the new perk called Iron Grip.
Nice.
Oh, you know what it is? It's that I was just playing Predator, so I'm thinking it's that Predator, where you see both the bulging biceps and they both like grab.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sort of like almost I-5, but that's the Iron Grip right there.
There it is. Yeah.
That'd be dope.
Nice.
Do we want to go into Iron Banner and get these is the question?
We'll see how
Like,
good
are
they
you
are.
guys enjoying Iron Banner? Do you have hope for Iron Banner in season 11?
There's a lot of competition for my gaming time in the upcoming month or two. And Iron Banner, like I liked Iron Banner. I've had a lot of fun in Iron Banner. Right now, like there's a lot of competition for my gaming time.
Yeah. For me personally, and I know I'm going to get flack for it, but like I don't have the absolute max power level. And I know Iron Banner is about power. Forever I wanted them to like bring it back and fix it. And now that it's back and the power grind is what it is, I'm like, I kind of wish it wasn't about that. So I don't have the solution of how you fix it, but that's one of my things. Like, I hate hopping in and not being at the absolute pinnacle, max power, and getting a little beat up by other people who have that.
PvP is not fun unless it takes 2 headshot snipes to kill somebody.
Yeah, exactly. And then on top of it, you've got anti-swords and stuff out there exaggerated by these issues. And so, I don't know. I personally don't get much enjoyment out of the event itself, but
I do like that with sunsetting that it could be a completely different sandbox to regular Crucible. And that might actually make Iron Banner feel a bit more special because when you go in there, it's completely different weapons being used. So when I play Iron Banner, I enjoy it probably a bit more than I do regular Control in Crucible. It's really not that bad at all. More people are playing, I think. So that's probably why it feels a bit better. But it definitely doesn't have that special feeling of D1. That just special sauce is just missing from Iron Banner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love more than just this. So I think getting Iron Grip and Iron Gaze is a good step because I would love to see more like Iron Banner specific perks.
That's part of what made Iron Banner so good in Destiny 1, right? Is there was some stuff you just couldn't get anywhere else.
Yeah.
In the netcode.
Chef's kiss.
Beautiful. All right, moving on.
Still, it'll give us a reason to get in there. So that I guess at a base, even if I don't want them, you know what? Everybody's talking about Iron Gaze on this sniper, so I got to get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there might be what you got to have, or there might be another perk that they introduced, the Iron Awesome. Got to have Iron Awesome on your rifle, man. So good.
The Iron Chef.
Iron Grip's what I use on my Mister.
But I did want to at least. Yeah. Oh my god. I thought you were gonna say on doorknobs.
The iron doorknob. Oh dear.
His iron grip.
His iron-
But yeah, I did want to say, since I brought it up, I don't want the reason to play stuff though, just because there's new perks. Like I do want it to just be genuinely enjoyable, or do something with
Agreed.
Iron Banner that's a little more about power. Yeah, like just even chasing the item, like it's Iron Banner should be a little more special somehow. I mean, frankly, it's getting to the point where it needs to be a new mode. Like we all actually kind of liked Rift. But I'm not saying that should be Iron Banner, but you know what I mean? It needs to be more than just, I think, control with like the power.
I would love for it to have its own like mode for Iron Banner. That'd be awesome.
Something special.
Something special that people like. It comes around once a month and you're like, ooh,
Yeah.
I want to play that.
It kind of is that though, with the whole the way you cap.
It's a little different,
You know, with
With
the whole
like
control.
capturing and locking down, you mean?
Yeah, they release the wolves. They're locked. And chase them. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
it's not different enough.
I like your description.
There's like
The wolves, and you gotta chase them.
they're howling. You know,
He's like,
you're either
Well,
mercy
there's a
or get
reason
mercy.
to triple cap in Iron Banner, right? It's the only time you should really triple cap.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
there is.
I think fundamentally though, it's a lot deeper. Like it's from gameplay to reward structure to the fact that tokens are still one of the main ways to get gear in the game right now. Like back in D1, there was that list, that screen. You got to see if somebody finally got the Iron Banner ship. You're like, oh, that person got that. That's so cool. Like
I want that back.
that's completely gone in D2, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
But I mean, you look at trials, and week after week, that population has been, once everybody's gotten the loot that really, really cares about it, population's dropping.
That happened in Destiny 1 as well.
Yeah,
Slower, but it happened in Destiny 1
Yeah,
as well.
exactly. Slower is the key word on that. All right, moving on. Upcoming archetype buffs. Next season, take a quick pass at a few weapon archetypes that have been underperforming. Slug shotguns are underused.
Add in Dragonfly?
No, they're not doing that. That would have been cool. Slug shotguns are underused in PvE because they require crits to maximize damage and didn't reward that precision with higher damage per second. So slug shotgun PvE damage getting plus 30%. That's good. That's a big boost.
Big buff.
Yeah. So if they did add Firefly bots, that would be, or what is it, Dragonfly? You know.
It is Dragonfly, but I would really like.
Yeah, you said Firefly.
I really
before,
like
Oz.
Firefly. That's what
Wait,
I meant it. I want Firefly.
How about a new
Yeah,
perk?
isn't-
New perk called Firebomb.
Yeah, 'cause
I
was
like it.
isn't-
Put it on Slug Shot.
I like where your head's at.
But I thought Firefly is the Sunshot one where it popcorns. Like, is that it or no?
Yeah, you explode
Yeah.
a head and it goes boom.
And another one can
Dragonfly
explode
is
out.
the shitty
no.
Destiny 2 version.
The Dragonfly, it's just so small. It's a really
Yeah.
tiny.
Yeah, they neutered it.
Firefly is more like the Destiny 1 one.
It's a lot bigger, yeah.
Firebomb, new perk. What you do is you hipfire. For every hipfire kill, you get a stack of awesome. And once you kill something with a precision kill while ADSing, it unleashes all the awesomes and it causes bombs that pop out that slowly explode and roll down.
Right. They're the size of like the big Slova bomb.
Yes.
And anything it touches turns into another Slova bomb.
Firebomb.
I dig it.
All right, moving on. High impact pulse rifles are underused in Crucible. While they have a very fast optimal time to kill, the time to kill was very hard to achieve, so we decided to soften that a little. High impact pulse rifle damage per bullet from 21 to 22, so it's getting bumped just a smidge. This changed it from 6 crits to 5 crits in one body to kill a Guardian in PvP at most resilience values. Do you think Redrix is going to become...
I was gonna say, is this finally the return of the Redrix being good in the game? I swear, every season there's a sandbox update. People are like, Redrix is gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
But maybe actually this time it will be good. Maybe.
Maybe.
We'll see. In
It is
analytics...
interesting. It's a decent buff.
Yeah. In analytics, we see bows are underused in challenging content. Huh. That's strange.
You don't say.
Really. And locally,
Sneaky.
we've observed that it feels terrible when a bow leaves a red bar enemy at low health.
Yes.
That does feel
Should
terrible.
pop their head off, man.
Yeah. Bow PvE damage versus miners is plus 10%. So they're getting a slight boost when you're using a bow.
To miners.
To miners. That is not going to make me want to use a bow.
Is this even legal? Like, jeez.
Oh my God.
Racy.
plus 10% just to miners on there. I mean, that's great. Yeah, it does suck when it gets left. They leave a sliver. I don't think that was the main reason though why I don't use a bow.
Yeah, that was the one right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
That drag. It's one
Hey,
shot.
you know what? You know
Almost
what,
had
Briar? Bows are perfect for you because there's no reloading.
I'm telling you,
Become a
Tommy
bow
lived
main,
through the bow
Briar.
Scott, and I'm happy about it. He's gonna go out and have a bright future.
Briar, you're gonna be extra sneaky and extra minery.
Yeah, that's my two major perks that I'm
And
looking
no
for. Is being
reloading.
more sneaky
I know.
and having
Briar's
a
excited.
reload between every bullet or every arrow.
Yeah.
That's what I love.
It's called draw speed, man. It's not a reload. Come on.
It's not a
Yeah,
reload.
sure,
it's a draw.
whatever. Are you
How fast can you
reloading
pull your...
the bolt into
Nope.
the draw?
No, you're
No,
inserting
space
it.
magic.
Yeah, I feel
Okay.
like this is this 10% fixes that last little bit that was missing for people who use bows, but it's not a fix where I'm like, oh, I'm totally gonna like be trying to use bows more and knock off like a major's head, like
No.
so. If because of that, when am I gonna use a bow?
Unless it had firebomb on it.
Firebomb. That's the way to fix everything.
Firebomb,
Maybe that's
Snifbo.
one of these new iron firebomb.
Iron bomb.
Iron
Future
bomb.
archetype updates. We've been evaluating feedback and our analytics data. And while we are not done yet, we wanted to touch on 3 community pain points. Our current goal is to touch on these in season 12. So this is not next season. This is September. But we'll be sure to let you know if plans change. First up, sniper rifles. Community feedback has been that the Revoker and Beloved dominate. And looking at analytics, they account for 86% of sniper rifle usage in the Crucible. You don't say.
Weird.
And if we include other low zoom snipers into the mix, the number gets even higher. Strange. It's like using the low zoom makes it easier.
Wait a minute. Are they saying this is a problem? The reason people are using them is because they're low zoom. We've always wanted low zoom sniper rifles. This isn't a problem. This is the solution to a problem we had before. Nobody was using sniper rifles in the Crucible because there were no low zoom sniper rifles.
That's true.
Now we have them, so we're using them. This isn't a problem to be fixed.
That's
you
a
fixed the
throwback.
problem, and now you're seeing the benefit of the fix.
That's a throwback. So they
Well,
say
that's why you have to keep going.
But it
to the
only
next
fixed,
part.
two or three. of them.
we're specifically looking at how zoom translates into ease of use for sniper rifles. We're investigating changes that make choosing a sniper rifle zoom more of an interesting choice. So,
See, I like that.
well,
Thermals.
sounds thermals. Actually, there you go. For those giant maps that we play on all the time.
Yeah. man.
No, I mean this along with like the outlaw, like nerfs and all that. Again, things are very subtle, but when you read in between the lines, you kind of go, "Oh, where are they going with these sandbox changes, and what are they actually up to?" And thinking, because I don't think the solution is to nerf the scopes.
No.
I don't think it doesn't sound like they're nerfing scopes.
think
It didn't
they're
even
trying to
sound like
improve.
they were saying that it was a bad thing. It seemed like they were saying, well, we want more snipers to be used. So we're going to investigate how exactly we can play around with zoom to make the scope choices more interesting. So if
Well,
you
you
want to have like that short range thing, you can choose that. If you're going into a raid where you need a, bigger zoom, you can choose that. I would like to just be able to choose the zoom of
Yeah,
the
but
scope.
they
I
said
always
they're
choose the low
looking.
zoom though.
Like we
Yeah,
used
they're
to.
looking at the data. The data says that low zoom scopes are used, and it's like, how do we make it so other zooms
For
are used?
Crucible.
It's like, you don't. People are only going to want to use
People
the low
just
zoom.
like low zoom scopes.
Yeah, but well,
It
but to
didn't
Watson's point, like
sound-
I think here's what they didn't say. They said 86% of sniper rifles are these like 2 guns. What they also should have added is you are using 12% of the sniper rifles available or whatever the number, meaning that's I think what they're trying to change, right? They're trying to give you low zoom on, say, by the way, I have this Elegy. I really love the Elegy. It's a dope looking sniper. I used it forever. It actually has snapshot and opening shot on it, I think, or moving target, one of the two. But man, I love it, but I just use my Beloved. I want it to have that scope or whatever. You know what I mean? So I think that's what I read it as. They're going to give me that scope option on the Elegy. And now
That's
I'm
how
happy.
I read it as well. Yeah.
I hope that's what it is.
I don't.
'Cause that-
That's interesting. I don't think that's what it is, but that would be interesting if they're like, "Hey, all these garbage snipers, because the zoom is so deep. You know how it's like you're looking through a tunnel.
Yeah.
How about we give you a low zoom on all those crappy snipers, and suddenly
All right, I
everybody."
was told.
No, I think it is the choice of being able to select more and
Yeah,
getting
I didn't take it as a
short
negative
games again.
thing for sure. I didn't take it as like we're just gonna nerf low zoom, so then you have to choose other snipers. I didn't read it like that.
I read
all.
it as they
That's
have to.
that's their go-to move, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
No.
Like, hey, everybody's using this.
You
We're
guys
gonna
have
nerf it.
Stockholm syndrome over there.
No, I read it as
Well,
I
that's
read
not
it as
really,
they
but
need to
you-
balance the scope, which means let's not make it so effective.
I read it as interesting
That's
choice
funny.
because it says we're gonna make it more of an interesting choice. That seems like something we don't have in the game right now.
Sure.
Exactly.
Let's hope so. I hope you're right. I hope you're
I'm
right.
on
Same.
Team Watts with this one.
I hope you guys are right too. Fingers crossed. But I'm remembering this if it's wrong, guys.
Oh yeah.
All right, hand cannons. We're evaluating the hand cannon subfamilies. As an example, we're breaking out aggressive hand cannons to let us tune their range independently of the others. That's the 110s, right?
Yeah.
Aggressives?
I think
Yeah.
so.
With those really sweet, like loving reload animations where you really get to, like, look at those bullets go in the chamber and then
Right?
Briar's favorite. They're Briar's
It's
favorite.
like you
They're
can
Briar.
read the brand on each bullet as it goes into the gun.
totally usable, completely usable in the hot
It's
moments.
like an ornate cutscene. Like whoosh. It's like you're looking right at it in front of your eyes, like
So you put the controller down.
David Fincher. Like the bullet zooms into the chamber and it's close up. All right.
Shout out to Zali's Bane back from Taken King. That reload
Oh
speed.
boy, that hand cannon was just
Yes.
bad all around.
Yeah, that really was one of the first hand cannons with the worst absolute possible reload.
That
I
was
remember
rough.
getting it. It was the
Yeah.
worst reward for being.
Yeah.
There have been some aggressive hand cannons that have been fun to use,
Yeah.
but they have to have reload perks on them. Otherwise, it's just like, nah, I can't do it.
yeah.
Oh, they said they're going to look at the range, so that's all you get.
Yeah, they're
That's
fixing the
interesting
range
for
on
me
that.
because if you can have like, I really like the Shadowkeep Moon hand cannon. It's a 110.
Yeah.
But it feels much more. It just doesn't feel as clunky as the other 110s. Loud Lullaby. Yeah, I really like Loud Lullaby. And if it had more range than other hand cannons in the Crucible, I would use it. Because then it's like, yes, I can shoot you from further away and I can kill you. But if I mess up, it's going to be real bad. And you can kill me. Because you can close
Yeah.
the distance and kill me. So I think having more range on the 110s would be cool.
Those things, you
Yeah.
know what's really fun about them too is that you're constantly stealing your teammates' kills and they get really mad at you for
Yeah.
it because you just take off these huge chunks of damage.
You do.
I love them. I love them for that.
Yeah. So they're looking at those for season 12. Adaptive auto rifles. Auto rifles in general are highly represented in Crucible, but generally feel balanced. Adaptive auto rifles are a little higher. So we're looking at them. And they want to say, we're not rolling back the season 10 buff. We're adjusting the tuning a little to give other auto rifle subfamilies a chance to shine. AKA
Yeah,
balance.
I think that's good.
Balancing
I
the
think,
sandbox.
yeah, I think it's somewhat similar to like not as bad as Beloved and Revoker, but there's like a very common set of auto rifles that people are going to, and I think they're just trying to
Yeah.
open that up a bit more.
I really hope
everybody
that,
back to Uriel's.
again, when they look at that data, I really hope that they factor in the fact that Revoker is technically really easy to get, and you can farm for the perfect Beloved via a direct method in the Menagerie. So I feel like that inflates the numbers dramatically, along with the
True.
low zoom scope,
Yeah.
which is basically a requirement for a good sniper.
And
Yeah, you make a good
Revoker
point.
has like extra bullets.
It's got freebies.
Oh,
man.
Revoker, you're just going to
It's
use
got
it no
free
matter what.
bullets. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's
You bring up a
Revoker.
Good point.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or revoke your right to nerf the Revoker.
I should clarify. I mean,
Always
I
everywhere.
know they know this stuff, obviously, and the team is huge. So there's lots of people looking at all this data from different angles. It's just sometimes when they give us pieces of information directly to the community, it can feel a little tone deaf. You know? So that's my worries
Yeah.
on that.
Fair
You want to
enough.
do some Twitter questions?
Yeah, the rest of the TWAB is some hot patch, hot fix type of stuff. Also, items leaving at the end of the season. Access to the Seraph bunkers on the EDZ, Moon, and IO. They're going. Warmind bits. They'll be out. Fourth Horseman Exotic Quest. Too late. Sorry, man. The Lie Quest. It's a lie. Legendary Lost Sectors. All that fun. Gone. Warmind the Seasonal Artifact. Gone. All that. And yeah. Wasn't there another thing about balancing the sandbox?
They said they were going to do it more frequently.
Yeah.
It's
I'll
specifically
change, honey. I swear.
moving forward. We plan to make more regular weapon balance changes. We'll have more to share on cadence and scope later. We have heard this before.
Deja vu.
Maybe it's gonna happen this time.
I think it was actually different people who said it though. So
It was a different sandbox team. Maybe
Yeah.
these guys are, I don't know, speedy.
And you guys question why I'm so like conservative right now about whether or not they're going to deliver on these perks, you know?
all right, let's jump into Twitter questions. We're gonna go speed round on Twitter questions until we run out of time. Ready?
Let's do it.
Michael Cameron says, do you think Bungie is going to actually have Saladin react in any actual meaningful way to finding out all his friends were murdered by Rasputin for nothing more than an idiotic robot jealousy? No.
Probably not.
I'm telling you, I think Osiris is the one that still.
Osiris
won't be
gonna
told
kick
there.
that ass. Osiris sad. Yes,
I'm down for that cutscene.
Cyrus mad.
Osiris mad.
Dayman says, do you think the rage would have been as bad if it was any other weapon type that came from the quest? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Not Ben says, how many times do I have to tell my friends I'll make changes more frequently before they don't believe me anymore?
Wow,
Yeah. Honest to
Two more
God.
times.
Two more times.
For me, it's like a 3 strikes you're out type of commitment type of thing, you know?
Mm-hmm. So we got one
To
more.
me, it was 3 times before the last one. Kai says, hello, DCP, and thanks for all the good times. With Destiny 2 going to PS5, do you think I should update my PC? I wanted to do it to play Control and other games, but thinking about the future of Destiny and the new consoles, I wonder if it's a good time to upgrade. Thank you. It's not a good
Become
time
a
to upgrade,
console
Kai.
gamer. When PS5 is out, buy it. Stay
Yeah,
on
I
the
was like-
console.
Now's the exact time that you want to do the PS5 instead. Probably. We're gonna.
Yeah,
assume
you do
it's
not want to
fully
be upgrading a
optimized.
PC right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's new graphics cards coming out in September from both AMD and NVIDIA. There are new processors from Intel that just dropped, but they're currently so out of stock that they're like double the price that they should be at retail. It's an awful time to buy a PC. It's a great time to save some money for your PS5.
Yep.
And then maybe beginning of next year or sometime next year, look at building a PC. But it's an awful time to build a PC.
And it's worth
right now.
noting, like if you like, we're literally at a point with consoles architecture being custom built that they actually there's some real good advantages in there, you know. And you saw some of that with the Unreal 5 demo, probably. But like legitimately, like we're probably moving toward a world where it's like, oh, do you have like M2 SSD, you know, PC setup, like to match performance of the Xbox Series X or PS5. So meaning probably want to go console for now.
That Unreal Engine 5, Tom's Hardware said that they'll be able to run that on a PC, obviously, but you'll need an NVMe to run it on a PC.
And like I don't know if it's 4th gen or you'll need like a higher gen of those too. So it's gonna be a good time.
Interesting.
Consoles will be good. So really, let's hope the Destiny 2 port's like the best version actually that we've seen yet. It really could be. So
I'll
I
take
keep thinking
4K 60 FPS.
Yeah, I was
You know,
like,
I don't think that's much to ask.
can I hook a mouse and keyboard up to that? Because I might switch for a while. You probably can.
You can with a Zim.
Yeah, with the Zim.
There's
That's
always
the
a way to do it, Fred.
Right.
Back and
There's always a way.
Ugh,
Yeah.
life is a streamer.
I second that though. Like right now, you should probably wait. If you're on the fence, just wait.
Yeah.
Yeah. Angel says, I just recently made the switch to PC from Xbox, and I'm loving the Church of Unlimited Frames and probably never going back.
Praise, hallelujah.
Since December, I've been using my wife's salon chair in our office for gaming. Any
Ooh.
suggestions? Is that like a barber's chair? Is that what she's talking about?
Sounds like it.
Sounds like it.
yeah,
That's
it's like
amazing.
that's actually.
You know how you can adjust it? Like sit back?
Yeah. Any
True.
suggestions on a good gaming chair? Any brands or any of your favorites?
Not a gaming chair.
Herman Miller.
Yeah, don't go gaming chair. They look cool, but they are awful. They're bad for
If
your
it
back.
says gaming chair, look away. Right
There
away.
goes all our sponsorships.
Herman
yeah,
Miller's
I-
getting
I
into
just-
the gaming space.
Yeah,
Are they really?
I'm curious to see.
Yeah,
What,
that's
they
going to
made
be
an announcement.
$1,000 though.
Oh, at least.
I bet you they'll go
Not
lower
more.
because they know the community are hitting. But yeah, I have an old Herman Miller that's like super old, and it's pretty darn comfy.
Same.
So,
Go
it's
for
a real
something that
comfy-
has good lumbar support, something that keeps your posture good. Theoretically, it's got a good butt cushioning that doesn't have any hot spots, so you don't cause yourself any kind of lasting injuries. Game of chairs, man, they look like car racing chairs. Like, how is that relevant to sitting in a chair for a long time? Like,
It pushes your
they don't
shoulders
even look
forward,
it.
which is
Yeah.
the biggest problem I found, is that it pushes your shoulders forward, which is probably great if you're having a competition with like high stakes and you're just playing for a short period of time. But if you're playing for long gaming hours, you want something that, really protects your back.
You want something comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, they have the higher. What's
Yes.
that?
You want something comfortable if you're playing for long hours.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say though, the gaming chairs, like, they technically have some advantage in that the headrest, you could lean back, but like if you're a streamer especially, you almost never do that. But yeah, I've never been a proponent.
Yeah.
I did want to quickly mention they joked about unlimited frames. That is maybe one reason if you want to go PC, like you're not gonna get 180 frames probably on the.
Oh no,
PS5.
I'm not saying it's not awesome to play games on PC.
No, me
I'm
neither.
just saying it's a spectacularly bad time to build a PC.
It is,
Yeah.
yeah. I was
Like,
just
right this minute.
caveating. Since I
Yeah.
said you might as well just buy a console, I'm like, well, actually, wait, you might want to go 180 frames and a sweet 144 hertz monitor or whatever. But anyway,
Yeah.
don't wanna mislead
Ba
anybody.
says, thoughts on the rumors that Xbox working with Bungie on non-exclusive stuff, maybe on a new engine or crossplay. New engine, doubtful.
Doubtful.
Crossplay, that'd be dope.
Crossplay? Yeah, crossplay.
It's true. We always bring
Even
that
if it
up
was
that
just
it
between
might be
PC and
coming.
Xbox.
You
Yeah.
don't think PlayStation's gonna join the party, huh?
They're always party poopers.
You never
man.
know with these guys.
They did.
True.
I mean, they did for what, Warzone and Fortnite, and
They
I
got
feel like
forced into
Destiny's
that.
Yeah. Well,
Like, didn't they get forced in the Fortnite thing?
I mean, Fortnite forced their hand. Is that what you're saying? Like,
Yeah,
Basically.
somehow.
Yeah.
they had the power.
They were like,
Well,
we
they
got
probably
money.
said we won't
Do you
release or
want
something.
us to stay on PlayStation? That's
Yeah.
right. Crossplay.
I don't know. Either way, the dominoes falling, and that's what everybody keeps saying. Like, the dominoes keep falling, bigger games come
Yeah.
out. So I feel like Destiny is big enough that's a distinct possibility.
I'll tell you, with Xbox and PC, I started playing Streets of Rage 4 on Xbox with the Game Pass. And I was like, geez, I wonder if I download it on my PC, also with Game Pass, if I'll be able to just continue the save. And I was able to, and it blew me away. The save is shared between PC and Xbox, and they're both on Game Pass, so I didn't pay for either one of them. It was a spectacular experience.
That's smooth.
That's one
Yeah,
of those
that's
things in the future, 15 years from now, people will be like, can you believe people were actually like excited about that feature? That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah, seriously.
Connor Flaherty says Luna's House essentially invalidated all other hand cannons on console by being so good. Why would Bungie bring back a shotgun that will just do the same to its archetype?
Sunsetting.
I think it's actually okay, because this shotgun is like a good shotgun that you can get where you don't have to grind nightfalls over and over and over and over again, or you don't have to go into trials and manage to get the shotgun to drop. It's a shotgun that everyone can get that's about an even upgrade. Like if you're using Mindbenders or you're using Felwinters, it doesn't really matter. So it doesn't invalidate other shotguns. I don't think this shotgun does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just puts a really easily attainable good roll in your hands, and it's actually time limited. So it is interesting. The population, there's probably a lot of people who are like, I don't know, and so maybe not as much of the population will have it as we think. We don't know if it will ever come back. By the way, I was going to ask that, but like with Fourth Horseman and going away with this season, I still have to assume that maybe it's season 12 or
I think Fourth
something will
Horseman will
pop
show up at Xur at some point.
up. Like for Felwinters to never come back again, I guess I'd be surprised, but that'd be really interesting. Sorry, you should have got your God roll. Get out there.
Yeah. Also, sunsetting. So it's going to basically have a year and a season expiration date on it.
True.
Well, not for regular Crucible. Never mind. But for Iron Banner. Iron Banner and the Trials.
Touche.
Achievement Raider says, does anyone else feel a different kind of FOMO from sunsetting? I
Different
don't
kind
really
of FOMO?
understand this question.
Yes, what? Do you get a different...
Yeah, I don't really understand this question. We're going to need follow-up, Achievement Raider. You're going to have to explain this one a little better to us. Michael Cameron says, is it me or should Anna and the Vanguard and everyone else be completely crapping their pants to learn they've been helping and relying upon a childish mass murdering AI that was already rampant centuries ago. Has everybody forgot about the great big spaceship that's just like hurtling toward the last city on Earth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, are we
That's
not even like thinking about this?
No.
That's what I wanted to bring up before too. It's like, okay, we just learned that he was this crazy tyrannical king, but also said in this story that, and then he wept, so there was remorse. We get a line on that, but there's also this giant darkness hurling towards us that Rasputin's been building to protect us from. So we kind of need Rasputin's help. And also that I think it leaves a moral dilemma personally. I don't think it's clear cut.
Is the story of Felwinter's lie about a mass murdering AI, or is it about how he became the protector of humanity?
Exactly. His glow up story.
Twist.
Rasputin's glow up.
It did say he wept, so I don't know what else is in the lore tabs, but I got.
But what if he turns around and is like, I saved you guys. Now you must become my Siva minions. Siva power.
Now, I'm going to need you to equip Iron Grip because we got some.
We got a lot of doorknobs out there. The other interesting part is the fact Rasputin is the one who just opened his archive and told us this story. So it's not like, oh, you found me out. He like left the door open to the basement where all the bodies were. It wasn't really like that. It was more of a like, look, I kind of got to tell you something because I don't know. He wants us to know what's okay. Make your choice. But
is he trying to gain our trust?
This is who I am. No, yeah. It says Deej a lot.
That is amazing, man. That is spot on.
Right?
That's outstanding.
It really is my best impression.
That was impressive. Impression.
I love Rasputin's voice. It's so cool.
Yeah.
So CD Johnson says, what is Felwinter's lie actually referring to?
The lie that
he stole the cookie, the last cookie. When his mother said, who stole the cookies? He said, not me. That's the lie. This is the last cookie lie.
Next question.
What is the lie? Yeah.
Tuba says, if Titans are the best punchers and the toughest, and hunters are the most agile and elusive, what are warlocks?
The best floofers.
They're good at reading.
They be floaty.
They're the floofiest.
They read a lot. What are you talking about? They're studious.
They have more magic. They have magic throwing balls.
They got good grades.
Somebody's got to get the shitty armor.
Yeah, they're scholarly.
Yeah.
Wilvin says, couldn't AIs be smarter? Would it be possible to make an anti-guardian AI that was challenging? Same damage output, hit points, maneuverability, abilities as players. A mirror universe fire team would be a cool boss fight, especially if they were also bringing in ads.
Excuse me.
They want us to have
Dark Guardians.
Human-esque AI
what
that
if
you can't predict
you
the
fought
fight.
yourself as a Dark Guardian?
Isn't that the Crucible?
Except there's actually.
Isn't that PvP?
I do think we'll get like a Dark Guardian fight eventually, but
yeah,
like to say like, can you make it like if you're fighting against a human? That's underestimating how odd, and different fights can be.
I'll say so. Everyone's like, what if every enemy was like a raid boss? It's like, well, we're fighting like 30 of them, so you would hate it. That's what would happen. You can't. There's a certain level of, how you have grunts in AI, and then you have mid, and you have more extreme and advanced. There's a reason for that, because if you just have everything at the lowest level being gods, that's not going to work. It's going to feel terrible.
Yeah,
you can't. Everything cannot be the best AI.
Everybody be a bullet sponge too.
What if they were the size of Pikmin? Then
all right,
maybe.
I'm thinking what you're stepping in.
Pikmin guardians.
Okay.
Yes. Little chibis of olive running around popping bubbles.
I don't know. Yeah, I kind of like those. Yeah. It's almost like Tinks in Borderlands.
I Am Stylized says, best podcast ever. I love you guys. Hope Fran is on tonight. He's so serious all the time. Early September's DLC is going to have a replacement for Cade. Who's it going to be and why?
It's going to be Fran because he's really serious.
He's super serious.
He's all the time.
Super serious.
All the time.
All the time.
Wow. I was worried you didn't read that question first and where it was going. So I drifted. What was the final part of that question? What's the next DLC going to focus on?
Tom Skerritt. Who's going to be the next Hunter Vanguard? Tom Skerritt.
That's why he's doing voiceover work. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zachary Rishin says, hello, everyone. My question this week is, who do you think has the most alcohol in their house right now on DCP?
Briar.
Fran.
Briar.
Definitely
No,
Briar.
you definitely. See, I don't have reserves or anything. I don't know about you, but
Isn't
I don't
that
have a
bottles right
garage.
behind you?
No,
In the garage?
no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's like water glasses.
Sure.
I'll actually tell you, all I have is I believe I have a bottle of wine and then a partially drank bottle of bourbon. That's it. I've been I don't have any reserves.
I have half a bottle of absinthe that is awful, and I have 3 beers.
Briar, that is
Really?
enough to take, like, if I had 10 bottles of wine in my cellar, the half absinthe is more alcohol, so you still win.
Yeah,
Nobody's drinking that absinthe,
Watts,
though.
that's a good point. Watts has.
Yeah,
you have
Watts might have the most.
You have a wine cellar?
No, I don't.
Why didn't we get the tour, guys?
Wine cellar?
Remember we
We
went
don't
over? Where's
drink.
this wine cellar?
I don't
My
think
imaginary wine
I was
cellar.
I was allowed to go to the wine cellar.
That's what I was about to say. I think we didn't get
Based
the tour
upon my
because
performance in the
Briar
beer
was
kitchen.
there. She didn't let us in because she knew what Briar would do to the place.
Briar would spill wine all over the floor, is what he would do.
Watts, how much alcohol do you have in the house?
Not much. I think we still have some stuff from like 3 Christmases ago, which I don't know if we
Oh,
should
that
keep
could
or
be a
not.
lot, though, depending.
Questionable.
Mhm.
I don't
A
know.
bunch
How
of,
much do
bunch
you
of
have,
mulled
Teffy?
wine in your storage.
Way
See,
more
this is the
than all
problem.
you
We
guys.
don't drink the alcohol. People come over to the house and they're like, "Oh, we'll bring alcohol for the," and then they end up not
Briar.
drinking any alcohol, and then they're like, "You keep it because you host it," and then you end up with an entire house of alcohol.
Yeah. Where did Briar
so
go?
you do
Did he
have
go
a
to
bunch
get
of alcohol.
What?
We have a decent amount actually.
Oh, there's Briar.
I
Did he
got
go to get alcohol?
Yeah, I don't have any.
Briar. I'm so
Could be.
surprised, man. I figured you would have had.
But I buy it and then I drink it. Like I don't like store it. I'm not like
This is the
hoarding alcohol
problem.
over here.
We're kind of alcohol hoarders because me and Tomo both don't really drink
There it
unless
is.
we're outside. Unless we're having some dicks by a trash can, we're not drinking.
You want a couple of drinks before you get dicks by the trash can.
I like to be prepared in case I want a drink of some type. So I have gin, tequila, a bottle of bourbon. Like I got a few, and then a case of beer.
See, you're stocked up.
I'm kind of
Like, I should learn.
He's
that.
ready to make a quarantini right now.
Yeah, I was about to say I should know better, but it's like actually part of it's the spending the money. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to spend all this money, but then like it goes dry. I'm like, well, it's the weekend, and then here we have delivery, super easy, and then of course it's an upcharge, but it's like super easy. I'm like streaming. I'm like, shut up. Yeah, all right, I'll just. And then next thing I know, there's like 2 bottles at my door. I'm like,
That is the best part of the quarantine. Like that is the thing about the quarantine that I hope sticks around is the amount of stuff that I can now get delivered or brought out to my car.
Yes.
Like that's huge, man. Like
Mhm.
I love it.
Best
true.
Buy, you better bring me my TV to my car and going in there.
I'm too drunk to drive, but I can get more alcohol delivered.
yeah, or more dicks.
More dicks. We can
Dick's-
actually get
Dick's
that
door.
delivered. Sometimes we do that.
Dick's door service.
Yeah.
Dick's door service. Oh,
Scholar
man.
Day says, don't know if this is asked before, but do y'all think tomato soup and grilled cheese is a pizza?
No.
Only in
what
Chicago.
are you talking about?
What?
It's a
That's-
delicious
that's-
meal for
absurd.
champions, but it is
It
not.
is.
It's not a soup. What did you say? Soup? Sandwich?
That's,
hot
that's
dog?
a soup and a sandwich.
It's a hot dog.
Wait, say it again.
Tomato soup is soup. A cheese grilled sandwich is cheese grilled sandwich. They are different
right.
things. You put them together, they are a meal.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very
They're
simple.
not a pizza. They're nothing like it.
They're not a- That's what it was, a pizza.
Yeah, is that a pizza? It
Definitely
makes
not a
no
pizza.
sense.
No,
Every now and
that's
then
not
there'll be a
even-
question.
That's not
Cheese
even slightly
And
logical.
tomato soup, is it ice cream? Wait, what?
Every now
I
and
know
then there'll be
they're
a
going.
question that completely scrubs my brain.
Now I'm picturing tomato soup flavored ice cream, and I'm
Oof.
like, my stomach is turning.
Oof, that's some curdly. But I
God
do get it.
damn.
You got tomato sauce, cheese, and bread. It's still an
Yeah.
absurd question.
No,
We
Well,
don't
I
know
mean,
anything
that's
like
not
that ever
far
again in the
off for
future.
Chicago style pizza.
no. It's the
It's literally-
presentation. It's the
Dear
pizza.
Lord.
Pizza is an
Stop it,
experience.
I will
It's an
not have this.
experience. Just
Pizza
like when you have soup,
is a
it's an
pizza.
experience. All right, it's a type of experience. You're not getting a pizza type of experience when you have.
No,
That-
because there's the
It's
soup.
a type of experience.
Yeah,
Come on down to Tefty's Pizzeria, where you
Exactly.
find a pizza type of experience.
a pizza type of experience is very
bangarang.
specific.
Angbangerang says, whenever Fran takes you guys to Disney, can we get a vlog of you guys trying Portillo's? Yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah,
Is Fran
absolutely.
taking us to Disney?
Yes.
Yeah, he's
Wait,
been
I didn't-
signed up for
All
this
right.
for
If you
at
try
least a year.
Portillo's, wait, none of you have had it before?
Which
What
one?
is
No.
Okay. Portillo's, like Italian beef, Chicago style hot dog, all that. Oh my God, it's so good.
Portobello
There's no
mushrooms.
grilled cheese.
I love mushrooms.
No, it's delicious. Okay, we definitely got food. So I didn't even know they had that at Disneyland.
Fran's
he's talking
taking us to
about
Disney.
He's talking about down in Anaheim. I know what he's talking about. Yeah, okay. If we go down to Anaheim, yeah.
Fran's taking us to Disney.
We could also go to TwitchCon and go.
That's
don't
what
have
I
to
got
take
out of
you.
that story.
Yeah, I don't like where
Great
this is
sandwich
going.
sounds awesome, but I want to go to Disney with Fran.
Thanks, Fran.
Yeah, okay. Thanks.
We'll
Thanks,
do
everybody.
We'll do the roller coasters, and we'll go see Mickey.
We'll
We
get
would love it, though.
great.
It's delicious.
sprayed down with disinfectant so we feel safe to go in it. You know, it's great.
Yep.
Dreadnought says, energy drinks become illegal nationwide. What street name would you give them? Nuka-Cola. Or just Nuke.
Firebomb. My new
Fire.
perk in game
Fire
and in
crack.
the streets.
Firecrack.
Firecrack. You know, people like, I'm cracked. Firecrack.
I'm
Welcome.
gonna call it G juice.
Or they say they're on crack.
G Fuel.
Yeah, it's G juice though.
Okay.
G-
Gamers like it.
G
but it's
drank.
not the fuel. G drank. Ooh,
Yeah.
I like that with
Yeah.
the A.
I'm gonna call them
G
Zoomers.
drank.
They're Zoomers.
Zoomers.
You got any Zoomers?
He's got
Watts
any,
is on the Zoom.
Got any G drank with a Zoomer flavor?
Fran, listen, you got to have some more Zoomers to get the right tether placement. Okay. Just need a
Watts
couple
got
more
all
Zoomers.
hopped up on Zoomers and went over to Dick's.
Oh man.
Jelly says, what is the worst thing you've ever done to a neighbor? And what do you think the worst thing Patrick's ever done to a neighbor?
Damn.
Patrick?
You know Pat would have
Patrick
a story
seems like
about
the
that.
ignore your neighbor kind of type of guy, right?
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
I don't
Worst
talk to
thing
my
you've ever
neighbors.
done to a neighbor.
They might
Does
be
this
crazy.
include as like a kid?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
I
was
think
just,
anything like I've done to a
horrible.
neighbor.
Briar.
Yeah, as an adult, nothing.
Are you sure there's no Molotov cocktails in your neighbor's
No, I usually went
past?
like way out of the neighborhood for that kind of activity.
He went out of the county. He wasn't getting arrested in the
Yeah,
same
well,
county.
so
My
this is
God.
one of those
Anybody
situations-
recognizing me?
where you hear about Briar's like done this awful thing, and the neighbors are like, "He's such a sweet boy. I don't understand." And they're like, "That's because he's out the neighborhood being a tyrant. He doesn't do
He's
it in
doing
the
it in one
neighborhood."
state over.
So
Okay.
tyrannical.
One time for Cabbage Night when I was
There
really
we go.
young.
Cabbage night,
Cabbage night.
Cabbage
What the
Night is
hell's
like
that?
Devil's Night. Do you guys have that? It's like the
as
night
in
before
like
Halloween.
weed?
Mischief Night.
The
okay.
devil's
Oh.
lettuce?
As in the devil's lettuce.
The Devil's Lettuce.
The
This
jazz
is like All
cabbage?
Hallows Eve.
Me and a
Cabbage
buddy met up. We were too young to drive at the time. I think we were real young. I'm guessing we were 12 or 13 years old. Probably maybe even younger than that. But we
I'm gonna be
wanted to do
scared.
something for the night before Halloween. Like Mischief Night, Cabbage Night, Devil's
Yeah.
Night, that kind of thing.
Devil's
We
lettuce.
wanted to
the
do
other
something,
words,
so
but
we
yeah.
went out and we spray painted the word "jism" on the street.
Jism.
Yeah, jism, Jizm, and we thought that was hilarious. The next morning, we both went to had the same bus stop, so we meet at the bus stop and we look up the street and we're like, "Geez, I thought that we wrote that on the street way farther away from my houses than we did."
Oh, it's right in front of your house.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
What is jism? Spelt
It's like
like
cum.
that? Like that?
With the M at the end. Yeah, I think
It's
that
like-
might be the derivative. Is
Really?
That's the
So Briar
derivative?
was using like testicles and stuff instead of saying just balls.
Testicles.
something like that. I never really
it
thought
sounds
about
like a
it.
town in Mexico. Like
Briar's there.
Cali Blues.
He's writing insults, but in the pure Latin, the Latin form of the word. Get jism, my neighbor. Like, well,
Is this some like slang on top of slang type of thing?
Man. See, now I know. Yeah, because they're both the words, Watson. I want to know which came first.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if anybody got that joke. We should probably.
which came first?
Wow. I took it literally. So
You take it literally. All right.
ZZ Junior 82 says, "Which do you choose? You got to pick one. Never brushing your teeth again, or never brushing your hair again." I mean, I can just shave my head, but I'm gonna want to keep
Yeah.
those teeth. So
Yeah. I would prefer
I think-
to brush my teeth still.
You have to
Yeah.
brush your teeth.
It's
not
so
even a
bad if you
choice.
don't.
Like it'd be
Yeah.
one thing if your hair is just all like gross and matty.
Plus, you can use your
Wait, though,
question.
you can also
Does
wash
using
it.
your fingers count? Because you can brush your hair through with your fingers and it looks okay.
Yes.
Let's be honest. I think brushing your hair requires a brush. So therefore, doing the finger
comb it.
toss,
Doing the
you're
fingers
good.
okay.
Yeah, you can still comb it.
There you go.
You
We can
part
still
it.
use a comb.
You can slick it.
Yeah,
You
there you
gel
go.
it. You can do all those.
Just use a
There you go.
comb. You
Easy.
just can't use a bristle brush. That's all.
There you go.
All right, last question, guys. You want to wrap it
Last
up?
question.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
guess,
Blaney
Brian.
McBlanderson says, on the Isle of the Ré, off the west coast of France, there's a vending machine that dispenses oysters and sea asparagus. How would you rate vending machine oysters relative to gas station sushi on the prospective gastrointestinal difficulty scale?
So there's a vending machine somewhere
oysters.
that dispenses in
France.
France that dispenses
Oysters.
oysters.
Mm-hmm.
Versus like gas station sushi.
Yeah.
It's
I gotta be
definitely
honest.
better.
Yeah, if it was well kept, like I mean, they're fresh from the day, like they're sealed up, I assume.
Is a
Have you
vending
seen the
machine.
awesome vending machines that Japan has? And their food tastes great. Definitely better than gas station sushi.
Definitely.
The only
Yeah.
thing I know about vending machines in Japan is that you can get
Here we
Underwear?
go.
Underwear
I know
out
what
of
you're
them.
gonna say.
No.
Like, I mean, come on. Like, there's two things I know about
I have
Japan.
seen those.
Underwear and vending machines and hentai. And both are very disturbing.
You can find them in the same 17-story floor.
I would totally go for vending machine.
Has anybody actually had gas station sushi?
No.
Yeah.
my
I mean, well,
my friend has,
I think I have.
but he would eat anything because
Yeah.
he's that type of guy.
I would only get it in a reputable city though. Like, see, I feel like
A reputable
I know that I've done,
7-Eleven?
like like here you can do Safeway sushi. Wait, what'd you say?
I said a reputable 7-Eleven.
Yeah, right. No, see, not that, but like here,
Whole
like
Foods
I've had
sushi isn't bad.
Safeway. I've had sushi, and it's great because like it's the same as Whole Foods practically.
I don't think gas station sushi is the same as like
And I know
grocery
that.
store sushi.
I'm just saying, if it's
No,
a
it's
gas
definitely
station
not.
in San Francisco, one of these frou-frou ones, I almost feel like I've had it. Actually, I just can't remember. Or
Here's the thing.
are there any Famima gas stations?
Any what?
It's Japanese Famima, Famima.
No idea.
Okay, I think they might have it. That I'd eat it there.
Here's the thing. When you say a gas station sushi, and if it's in America, I'm guessing that it is basic. They're squeezing every single dime possible out of that thing. And the markup on any of that food versus the quality is pretty
Yep.
extreme. So that's what I immediately start picturing in my mind for gas station
Same.
sushi in America. But a vending machine in France, I'm thinking someone might have had some sort of life passion of creating the best possible vending machine experience on the coast off of France.
well, that guy's selling panties in Japan, so
Probably.
That's where my mind goes. There,
Wow.
it's definitely possible that
lifelong dream.
there's some extreme high quality gas station sushi somewhere in America. It's totally possible. I'm not going to take
Totally
chances. I'm not going to be a guinea pig, and it's
And
definitely
for that
possible.
reason, I'm out.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to fund
pick
your
one.
project.
I'm not
Which one are you going
investing in your gas station sushi.
I'm out.
so you're going
I'll do
oyster?
Oysters.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with
You're going
oysters.
vending
I'm on
oysters.
oysters too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna be last in line, but I'll go in there. All right, that's it. Good show, guys.
Right.
Nice. Well done. Solid show.
Good
That's
job.
episode number 189, right?
Yep.
Of the old DCP. Fran, where can people find you?
Right here on Twitch, Twitch TV/FM3_. Thank you, everybody who has taken the time to stop by. It's usually later Pacific time, after 9 or 10 p.m. Pacific time. Any day.
Briar.
Yes.
You can find me on the Hackintosh Reddit, getting yelled at to Google the questions I asked.
Nice. A good old yelling at Reddit.
That's right. Nothing like gatekeeping,
Yep, that's right. I am Miss 5000 Watts. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Just look for Miss 5000 Watts.
And I'm Tefty Teft. You can talk to me at Teft on Twitter and catch my streams, twitch.tv/Tefty Teft. And yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out, whether you're watching live or on YouTube or on our podcast syndication. Shout out to all our Twitch subs and also our Patreon members helping keep the show happening and all that. So we really appreciate all the support, guys. And we'll see you next week.
Thank you so much.
See you next week for another DCP and side quest on Mondays, 1 p.m. Pacific time, where Briar will talk about his Mister. So
He's always there's a Mr. segment.
Yeah,
a full situation.
We haven't had to put a rating on it yet, but we might have to because they're getting pretty.
They get
spicy.
a little. They get a little.
I do get pretty excited when I'm talking about my Mister.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.